Welcome back to day 2 of the AI Advantage Summit. Who's excited for day 2? Who's excited? Yes? There we go. Marilyn's got some energy. Donald, love it. Okay. There we go. Love it. Karima. There you go. All right. Tiffany's in the house. There we go. My man, David. There you go. Love it, David. That's representing. All right, Melinda. So good to see you. There you go. Love it. Okay. Well, before we dive in, I want to take a moment and say thank you to each and every one of you for playing full out yesterday. Like, I was so inspired by seeing you all in the chat. You were sharing insights, you were encouraging one another, you were giving feedback, and I saw some of you even showing up vulnerably. And it really was a beautiful thing to get to witness people from over 100 countries all over the world coming together and supporting each other. And so I felt like, let's start day 2 off, and what do you say we just celebrate this beautiful community that we have right here? Yes? Everybody feel the love from the community? Yeah, so beautiful to see. There we go. You know, and it reminds me of like when you walk into the gym, right? You've got some people in there and they're doing all the heavy lifting. And then you got other people that are in there that are like, man, I'm just working on my stretching right now. And then you got some other people in there that are like, how's this machine even work? Like, what do I do with this thing? But the point is, they all showed up and they're doing it together. And that's exactly what's happening here. Each and every one of you are at a different stage on this journey. But guess what? You're doing it. You're taking the steps you've never taken before. You're exploring territory that is brand new to the entire world. Like, take that in. You're exploring territory that's brand new to the entire world. And when you're on the cutting edge, when you're a pioneer, you're gonna get some sweat on your brow. You may have a couple sore muscles, right? It's gonna feel a little hard at times, but here's what I need you to hear. It's worth it. It's worth it. So today, resist the urge to say, it's too complicated, or I'm behind, or I know all this, right? And remember what Tony said. A year ago would have been too soon. And a year from now would have been too late. But this is the golden moment. This is the time. The time is now. So as we start day 2, if you know that this is your time, I want you to put "it's my time" in the chat. Put "it's my time." Let's see who's ready for it. Yes? There we go. Kim is ready. Allie's ready. There we go. It's my time. It's my time. It is. This is your time. And today, we've got quite the lineup, okay? And we're getting even more tactical and practical implementing AI. And you'll be learning from Dean here in just a minute. And before he comes out, though, a few quick reminders, all right? Number 1, be present, right? Close out all those extra browsers. Put your phone on silence and make today count, okay? And number 2, keep utilizing that chat, right? That's where the connection happens, where breakthroughs are shared. And we saw it beautifully yesterday, and we're going to do it again today, okay? And finally, remember, this is a live event. We're live, right? So the speakers can see you and interact with you. So keep your cameras on and your energy up, right? Because remember what Tony said yesterday. Energy is the number 1 determining factor if you're going to succeed or fail in life. So what do you say we start day 2 off with a little more energy? What do you think? Let's crank a little bit of music. Let's have a little bit of fun as we welcome back to the stage our guide, the one and only Dean Graziosi. Everybody give it up for Dean right now. Let's go.
Hey, Scott, Courtney. What's up, Jeff? I see you, Joey. Tiffany rocking it out. What's up? Look at this energy on a Friday morning. I see you, Danny, Vanessa, Todd rocking it out. All right, Monica, Monique and Kim and Annette and Jackie. Hey, everybody. I see what's going on. All right, well, welcome back to day 2. Thank you for the beautiful comments. What a blast yesterday. It's so much fun, so much energy. I'll talk about it here in a minute. I stayed up way too late reading so many of your comments in the community. Oh my God, so good. And you learn so much. You know, sometimes, we spent months and months and months preparing for this. We work really hard on strategy. I'll talk about that in a moment. But you don't know if, some of you are experts already. Some of you have never done this before. And the majority of you are kind of down the middle, dabbling, using it kind of. Tiffany, I see you shaking your head like, I know I could be doing more with this. So it's our job to try to make sure we bring all of you in and deliver value. And that's what we're obsessed on. Yesterday truly was magical. The breakthroughs, again, the reading the comments were unbelievable. And what was really good is watching people who said they finally felt clarity, excitement, possibility, maybe the first time in a long time. And I also had a lot of people reach out, not only through community, but personal friends say what they loved about this AI event. It was more than just the tactics. It was more than just what code or what prompt to use. And that's what we try to bring together. But we'll talk about how these 3 days evolve. I just wanted to shout out a few people I said I would who took the action and went inside the community and left some comments. First, going to be hard to read these, but Belle said, yesterday's session truly opened my eyes. My biggest takeaway was realizing that I can clone myself. This isn't about replacing me. It's about amplifying impact. I thought that was awesome. Let's give it up for Belle for taking action. Adam said, Igor Pagani's prompting got me thinking about my subscriptions, etc., and how I can utilize the power of AI to scout out better deals. Simple, just in your personal life. So way to go, Adam. Ben shared, my biggest takeaways, people who made decisions quickly are successful. Isn't that so true? AI is the brush. Human potential is the masterpiece. Isn't that cool to start thinking of the two sides of the brain, right? It's not, I hope the theme is you're feeling is it's not about replacing you. It's about amplifying you. This was Heather said, my biggest takeaway was an overall sensation and settling in my nervous system, actually. I really appreciated the 3-day opportunity to take a look at AI, break it down in smaller, tangible pieces, learn more, create more of a realistic game plan. She loved Igor as well. Us too. That's why we partnered with him. Last, Nadezhda, I hope I said your name right. I was already past 1 a.m. in Moscow. Thank you for being up late with us on day one of the summit, and I was still taking notes, not because I had to, but because something clicked. The idea really resonated with me, the simple but powerful buy back time. And I realized AI isn't about doing more. It's about reclaiming hours that we've been trading. Awesome, awesome. I just want to give it up for you guys. Awesome. All right, I see. You know what's so funny? About 75% of you here are new to the world of Tony and I, right? So I could tell those of you that have spent time with Tony and I, or just some of those that are free spirits, you get the energy immediately, and some of you are like, why are they playing music? This is supposed to be an AI event. This is weird, right? I promise you, this is Tony 101 to anchor in the energy. Listen, what I just read, that lights us up, because that's exactly what day one was designed to do. This isn't just a tech event. This is designed to be a transformative experience. Listen, Tony and I know after a combined 76 years of doing this, that real change doesn't start with tactics, even though a lot of people think that, and I get it. It starts with a foundation. It starts with a mindset. It starts with a belief in seeing what's truly possible. Listen, now maybe you're ready for that next layer. Listen, I want to go deeper. Give me more prompts. Give me more tools. Give me more tactics. Don't worry, that's coming. But if you take one thing from yesterday, let it be this. When you build on the right foundation, every tool works harder for you. In most cases, people don't dig deep enough on the one tool that they're already using each day. Like we're dabbling in ChatGPT and we're looking at all these other tools when really we can unlock gold in the one thing we're already using. And that alone can change your life. Because here's what we know. Success with AI isn't about memorizing workflows. It's about learning how to think differently, how to use time differently, how to see opportunity differently. This is new for all of us. We have to shift this. Can you agree? Can you say yes? We have to shift the way we think about this? right? And so that's why we're setting this up the way we do. And it started yesterday. And the best part, we're just getting started. Day 2 is where the momentum really kicks in. Yesterday, hopefully we opened up your mind. Today, you'll start taking action that changes how you work, how you create, and how you live. This entire summit was built strategically. Every session, every guest, every exercise put in a format and a flow that we think will best serve you. Day 1 gave you the foundation. Day 2, today, turns insights into momentum. Day 3, that's where it all scales. And that's where we work on making this stick for life. So if you came here just to collect tools, they're out there. You could find them. But if you came here to transform your business or your career or your future, then you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Let's make today that big light bulb moment that goes off. And what's really cool, if you see who we have coming today to share, we have the brilliant Dr. Arthur Brooks, Harvard professor and best-selling author. He's here to show you that with the right use of AI, it makes you happier, more creative, and more successful. Love that guy. Sabrina Romanoff is going to blow your mind when she shows you how simple it can be to use AI to amplify your brand, your marketing, or to launch the business you've been dying to get out there. And of course, Tony Robbins is back to interview Mark Benioff. This company happened to do over $40 billion last year, but wow, does he know how to boil things down. I like to say, make it so low the goats can eat it. He can take a company that big and still boil it down to the individual like us and show us what's possible and what we can do. So you can't miss a second today. And at the end of the day, we're gonna do something that's it's my most fun thing. We're gonna do hot seats at the end of the day. We'll bring Igor back and some of the other guests and we'll take random fire. We'll bring you up and answer your questions. So one heck of a day ahead of you. So if day 1 was about understanding the revolution, it is a great lineup, Kim. It's gonna be an awesome day. Day 2 is about owning it. So let me just ask you, who's ready to own this shift, right? By the end of today, you'll know more, you'll have more confidence, and you'll be ready to go to the next level. And you're gonna learn how AI can multiply your influence faster than anything I've ever seen in my life. And one simple tool that's gonna absolutely just change the way you look at everything when it comes to using AI and implementing it into your life. Okay, so before we get to some fun stuff, one of the greatest gifts that I've learned, and maybe I use silly metaphors, but fuzzy targets don't get hit. And what do I mean by that, right? If you need glasses and somebody gave you a bow and arrow, even if you knew bow and arrow, and if you couldn't see like I can't without my glasses on, it's a fuzzy target, you don't hit it. And without a compelling future that's crystal clear, without a crystal clear goal, listen, I visioned this event 6 months ago. I envisioned it with 600,000 people from all over the world who were looking for a clear path. I had a target. Tony had a target. This team had a target. We obsessed on it. But without that target, you don't hit it. Without a goal, you don't hit it. And sometimes we avoid what we don't want rather than going after what we do. So I'd like to take just 10 minutes right now and make sure all of you have a really powerful goal that you're shooting for, because when we shoot for a goal, then you have the opportunity to say no to the things that don't serve us and yes to the things that could shift our lives. Is that true? A lot of times in life we say yes to too many things. If you say yes to too much, you're saying no to who you're meant to be. So I'm gonna go over the whiteboard. Let's just take 10 minutes real quick. We'll set up a goal. You guys ready for, you'll do that with me? Do a little exercise? Come on over. Okay, so I prepared this little goal accelerator that I call it. I've been using a sheet like this for probably 20 years. But I shortened it because I want to do this all in 10 minutes with you. Nothing happens in life unless you have a target, unless you focus on it. There are things in your life. If you are in good shape, that means you have goals around being in shape. If you have an incredible relationship with connection and intimacy, passion, that means you have goals around your relationship. If there's certain areas that are lacking, that means you don't have a goal. This is 30 years, or almost, 30 years of doing this almost every day in my life. You get to see patterns. So here's what I'd love. What is a big, and be interactive. Shane with your little one on your lap, freaking awesome, dude. I got a little one, not quite that small, but I got a little 3-year-old at home. So if we just came right now, and if you want to put it in the chat, you want to write it, what is a big goal you have? Now, I'm going to skip right down to the deadline. What if we didn't do a year from now? What if we said in 90 days? In 90 days from now, we do a reunion, just 90 days from now. And you're back here. And those 90 days, so many things shifted. You shifted your goals. You started the business. You scaled the business. You finally started doing your own thing. You're coaching people. You're living in who you're meant to be. You finally said no to the thing you've been dying to say no to. You finally said yes to the thing that could drive your soul. Right? We all need a compelling future that gets us out of bed, that gets us moving. I started my business. You guys are so freaking awesome. I built a Mystic Technology app and community. I monetized my YouTube channel. My book launched. Freaking love it. My course launched. My website's up. I bring my art and business online. I have 20 new clients. This is freaking awesome. I'll heal 20,000 new mothers. 25,000 a month in consulting. I got my first 10 clients. This is exactly it, right? Be able to lay off. Oh, I like that, Sean. Be able to lay off my employer. I built my business to the next level. I teach and certify kids, right? I quit my job and started an agency, weekly podcasts and course to sell. Successfully launched my financial advice. Keep going. Keep writing them in the chat. This is exactly it. And why I like 90 days, and Tony hinted on this yesterday, is I love taking goals and shrinking them. Right? Tony referred to this yesterday. But if I said, hey, let's get in the best shape of our life and lose that tough 5 pounds that we want to lose. Let's do that over the next year. Would any of you do anything tomorrow if we had to lose 5 pounds over the next year? Right? But if I said, hey, let's get that 5 pounds off, get in the best shape of our life, let's do it in 30 days. Ooh, you change what you're going to eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner today, right? So it's actually time. Tiffany, I see you getting this. We can actually use time as a tool. Because if you put the goal too big, then you're like, I'll get to it. But if it's short, it means I got to start something now. And here's the difference. AI amplifies you so much. What used to take years could literally take weeks. What used to be, I need 5 employees, just no, I need 5 days just to set up AI to work for me. This is truly the golden era. So I want you to do one thing for me. I want you to stretch your goal a little bigger. And I never used to do that. But I do now, because here's what I believe. If you make your goal a little bit bigger, then you're just thinking, I need to adjust a little. Sometimes we need a breakthrough. To have a breakthrough, sometimes we got to break something. We got to look through a new lens. We got to try something we've never done before. So I'd say, not only set a goal, set it for just 90 days, not 6 months or a year, and make the goal a little bit bigger. In fact, make the goal scare you a little bit. Make the goal seem almost impossible. Not impossible, but almost possible, because when you do, Valerie or Martha and Nancy, when you do that, all of a sudden you have to think through a different lens, because what got you there won't take you there. Make sense? I look at all this. Relaunched my consulting business. I'm creating a platform. You guys are freaking rocking it. Okay, so whatever your goal is, we write it down. We already decided we're going to condense it to 90 days so we can go faster. A little bit bigger, a little bit shorter. Like, make it feel a little uncomfortable, right? Now, these are the things that'll change everything. And this is how I've been setting goals for at least 2 decades. Once I think of a goal, right? Look at all these beautiful goals here. I started the process, making $20,000 a month. My finances are complete. I launched my AI podcast. I start my portfolio patterns. Love it. Heal 1 million moms. This is love it. I love where you're pushing, right? I'd love for you to think realistically is what could stop you? If you know the enemy in advance, then you know how to prepare for it, right? What are some of the constraints? You could call that constraints, obstacles, whatever you want to call it. But what are some of the things that could stop you? Sometimes it's old patterns of thinking, right? Sometimes it might be a spouse that says, hey, Cliff, come on, let's not dream. Well, things are okay, right? It could feel like procrastination, could be imposter syndrome, could be that you don't know AI yet and you're not quite savvy with how to use it or create a clone and go deeper. Whatever it is, it's okay. Just put it out there. It's part of the process, because I always say if you have a goal and you know the enemy, then that's the next question. We could figure out how to overcome that enemy in advance, right? Fear, I'm lying to myself. I stop myself, not anyone else. Being seen, self-confidence, totally get it. Develop plans for my retirement, right? Lack of technical knowledge, lack of help, right? I don't have a partner. I don't have anybody that keeps me accountable. My studies take too much. I'm waiting, right? Fear and benefits. Other people's opinions, Jennifer. Ooh, that's one of the big ones. That's one of the big ones. So this is cool. So you're writing down, other people's opinions, what people think of me, imposter syndrome. I need help. I don't have anybody to help me. I need a coach, or I need accountability. Once you know them, this is how goals get done. Then the next part, which I love, is what are some possible solutions? I know I'm going through this quick. You can go through it again later. I want to get to some solid training. But if we don't know what we're going for, then you might not do all the work that's coming today. Can I tell you how we think about this? I'm setting these goals today because I want you to feel this in your soul, that when you see something that's a little uncomfortable, that you hear from Arthur, or you hear from Sabrina, or you hear from Mark, or you hear from me, or you hear from Tony, go, I don't care, I'm doing it. Because I know my goal and I'm gonna reach it. I know the constraints, but I came up with some solutions. So what are some solutions that you think could overcome the obstacles or the constraints? Put it in the chat, right? What could that be? I need the right people to talk to. Putting it on my calendar. Make a decision. Just do it. Hire another assistant. Get a coach. Follow a plan. Learning more about it. Get a mentor. Consistency, right? Mentor. Start. Grants. Decide. Commit. Plan. Collaborate. Just do it. Get a coach. Write it down. Follow a plan. Daily action. Consistency. Make a decision. This is so good. This is so good. Never give up. Keep moving forward, right? So you got your mentor, your coach, keep moving forward, make a decision, right? So now all of a sudden the constraints don't seem so scary. Learn AI better. Make it a part of my life. Like all these great things that you're writing. So if you know your big goal, you know you're going to shorten it, you know what could stop you, and you start thinking about solutions, this is where everything changes. This is the part most people miss when it comes to goals. And we're almost done here. Nothing moves without emotion. Just a fact. Nothing moves without emotion. You've all done, including me, I say you, I mean we. We've all done New Year's resolutions, haven't we? And by February 15th, you forgot what you wrote down. True? Is that just me? Raise your hand or say yes if that's true. My wife and her sister, a lot of them do vision boards, right? Guys do vision boards too, but my wife and her friends always do, and I always think to myself, a vision board doesn't work unless there's an emotion attached to it. And you always need to know, so why, whatever your goal was, why is that goal important to you? And here's what I'm going to tell you. Pull it from your heart, not your head, right? Why? That big goal of changing your life, starting the business, scaling the business, getting to 20 grand a month, your first 100 clients, helping 1 million moms, all the things you shared. If you really think about it, money in so many cases just allows us to be a better version of ourselves. We can help the people we love, help our church, help make sure our kids are okay, right? Time, it might just be to be the dad that your father wasn't able to be the mom that gets to stay home, work a little bit, and then be present. I don't know what yours are, but when you find this emotion, when you find the heart-driven reason why you want this, that's what gets you through the hard days. That gets you to make decisions. Say, I'm going to learn this. I'm staying plugged in. I'm getting accountability, and I am reaching that goal. This is the driver. This is the driver. So why? Put it in the chat. Why do you want to reach that goal? Because I want to help people. Because I feel alive to actually do what I said I was going to do. Heather, I hear that emotion and I feel it. Become a better version of me, to prove to myself I can do it, for freedom, for self-worth, for legacy, for income, for diversity, to help people. I love creating financial because I can do it. I want to own my future. I want to give back to the community. I want to take care of my family. I can't even read them quick enough. This is so good. This is the heart that you need when the days get tough, when you have to make a decision, when someone says no or the first thing doesn't work. You can't just go, I need more money. I'll go back to this job I hate. No, or I'll leave my business the same size it is. No. If you could see with Tony and I, We have a burning why, right? And he helped instill a lot of that in me. I feel blessed. I'm really good with my money. I've been in business for 40 years total, 30 years in this business. I don't blow my money. I'm good with it. I could have retired 5 years ago. I'm working more hours than ever before in my life because I got this huge why. I have more people to impact. And if I ever get lax on that, Tony calls me and said, more people need your help. Bro, harder, faster, stronger. I have such a big why because we get to help support people. There's other whys. I want to be the dad that my dad wasn't able to be. I want to be the husband to my wife that she deserves to be. I have my own whys, but when you find it, nothing's going to stop you. And then the last one, this is just a little bonus. Sometimes it's cool, it's always cool to see where you want to go. But you know what's really cool as well is to write down, what if I don't do it? Sometimes you need the stick and the carrot. Sometimes you need the stick and the carrot. So what if I don't do it? What happens if you look back in a year and you didn't change anything? You didn't jump into AI now and everybody caught up but you. You can't compete. The business you wanted to start can't compete. You can't compete in the career and you can't compete in the business you already own. What if I bury my head in the sand and say it'll go away? It's not going away. It's here. It's like electricity. Everybody has it. Or what if you just don't reach into your full potential? Spend that time with your family. Have the freedom. Regrets, stagnation. I love this. Stay the slave to the grind. Look at this, guys. You guys are so good. Another year wasted. Regret. Feel like a failure. I love this. These are the emotions, right? Some of you yesterday, just in the first hour, were like, give me the tools, give me the tactics. Can you see this is the evolution? We're going to get to all that. But when you anchor in your heart and then you anchor in, if you miss this and the fear of missing out on you living into your full potential, I love Dale Carnegie's quote that the biggest plight of the human race is not living into your full potential. Ooh, that's it. Who wants to get to the end of your life and realize you missed it? You played small. You didn't go after. You decided to let this wave that we're so blessed to be a part of, like this is a wave of AI, and we're out in front of the wave. We could surf all the way to the shore. You can wait till the wave goes by. When I think of that, this drives me in a way like nothing else. Thank you for letting me do that. Thank you for going through that with me. This little exercise has changed my life in a huge way. So now you got a huge goal with a deadline. You've identified the constraints. You identified what really matters in your life. We'll go even deeper today on buying back the time and the leverage so you can use AI to help hit that goal. That's why we're here, right? You're not here just to learn a strategy. You're here to shift your life. True? Say yes if that's true. Right? Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, everybody. In fact, I want to do something a little fun. I came up with this last night. I woke up super early to kind of lay this out. I love it. I shouldn't say I came up with it. Our team came up with it. It was a collective thought. I got up this morning and played with it. Then the team played with it. But I want to show you a little something. And I hope it all goes right. Of a day in the life. Of what's doable right now. How AI can fit into an ordinary day and quietly give you back time, energy, and focus. Again, I want to walk through a day, just a simple day, no fancy tech, no chasing 100 tools. Let's just start at the very beginning of a day. And remember, this is before we go deep. This is before we show you the biggest secret of all today. But let's just say you wake up, you're lying in bed, maybe a little voice starts whispering in your head. I know it's a busy day, but I should work out. I need to get back in the gym. I need to get in shape, but I'm tired. Maybe tomorrow. We've all had moments like that, haven't we? Whether it's working out or doing the thing that's uncomfortable. You want to feel better. You want to have more energy. You want your body back again, whatever it is. But sometimes it's hard to start. But watch this for a second. Let's see if AI can help us start off the day. Not to judge us, not to pressure us, but be a guide and help us find maybe an easy on-ramp. Could you pull this up? I'm going to do this live, so. All right, ready? I'm going to read this. I've been thinking about working out for a while. But every morning, I can't quite get started. I'm lying here in bed wondering how to actually find the energy, the inspiration, the motivation to get to the gym. Could you help me come up with a simple morning plan that gets me headed in the right direction and my headspace in the right direction so I can actually follow through?
Absolutely. Let's keep it super simple. Here's a 3-step morning plan. 1, set out your workout clothes next to your bed the night before. When you wake up, it's all right there. 2, give yourself a tiny goal like just 5 minutes of movement. Once you start, you'll often keep going. And use a fun playlist or a podcast you enjoy to make the start more enjoyable. That way it's something you look forward to.
That's great, but what if I need even more inspiration to actually get to the gym?
Sure, let's add just a bit more inspiration in 3 steps. 1, find a gym buddy or accountability partner to check in with. 2, set a small reward for yourself after you finish a workout, even just a nice coffee. 3, keep a quick journal of how you feel after each workout so you can remind yourself of that good feeling next time.
Tell me that's not a cool way to wake up. And you could say, as you're going to see, the deeper you go, this is my age, this is where I'm at, this is my shape, what would be a great workout for the first day, the first 5 weeks. That could kick off the day. Could that kick off the day in a cool way? Yeah, and I love the British accent. I just think it's cool. It makes me, I feel, people with a great British accent, I just automatically feel that they're smarter. So let's just say you kicked off the day that way, right? You see how easy that is? It's not giving you a lecture or a 90-day challenge. It's giving you a simple, realistic way. Start right now. That's the beauty of this. One simple moment, one conversation, and suddenly a daily sticking point just got erased. So check, we worked out. Now you're feeling good. You head off to the office. You get there and you realize you have 4 back-to-back meetings with multiple priorities and complicated agendas. And here's the dilemma. You want to be fully present in the conversations and help lead and innovate, right? But you also need to have some good notes, some clear actions, owners, deadlines, who's going to do what, right? You think about it. That used to mean scribbling in your journal as fast as you could, and you're missing the important stuff. Or maybe literally having to hire someone full-time to take notes, and then when you get them, you're not sure, right? But now, you could just let AI listen, transcribe, and organize while you stay focused. And the best part is there's a bunch of tools out there that do it. Now, I personally use Fathom. So now, in less than 2 minutes, listen to this, an hour meeting, 2 minutes later, I get an email sent to me with a meeting recap, a video replay, a full transcript, and action steps needed post-meeting. Who does what, when. Just like that, done. I've been in business for 30 years. That constraint is over. I can even ask questions about the meeting like, hey, Fathom, when Diana talked, she was mentioning about costs last month. Can you remind me what she shared? Because I think it was important. Boom, tell me just like that. Pretty cool? Again, just a normal day, no fancy tech, not 100 different tools. We're just talking about finding time and leveraging it. Is that making sense? Okay, so let's just say, this is walking through a regular day. Let's just say you finished your first 2 meetings. And now you got 15 minutes for the next meeting, and all of a sudden you find out there's an email that needs to go out right now, and it's on you. The deadline is tight, the message matters, and you're stuck staring at a screen, mind racing, half thinking about what to write, half thinking about the next meeting you're going to. No time to go back and forth, don't have time to tweak it. But that's when you remind yourself, I don't have to do this alone. And let's tap into the minds of the best storytellers, the best writers, maybe even the best marketers on the planet, so you could simply ask for help from the best of the best. Think about it, like AI has allowed us to have a brainstorm session with anybody we want. So listen to this, if you could pull this prompt up. You literally, with the same, most of you are using ChatGPT. You could literally go to ChatGPT and say, I need to write an email about, whatever the topic is. And I want it to be written in my voice, but with the marketing passion of Tony Robbins and the powerful storytelling of Malcolm Gladwell. And you will get one amazing email. Because you can tap into it. Does that make sense? You can tap into it. Boom, done. Killer email, done in seconds. So you made it through the day. You worked out. You crushed your meetings. You didn't drown in notes because AI handled it for you, right? And you even created a marketing email that the rest of the team's like, how did they do that so amazing, so quick? Now you finally walk through the door at home, feeling lighter, feeling on fire, until you see a note on the counter from your spouse, right? Maybe in my case, it would be my wife, Lisa. Hey, honey, I had a meeting at school. Could you make dinner for the kids? And you're thinking, no, not more decisions, right? This one was so cool. Because the old way would be, you grab your phone, you start scrolling, search for a recipe, what could I make, right? And all of a sudden you just go, we're just gonna have eggs again, kids. Like whatever, breakfast for dinner. But now, you just walk over to the fridge, open the door, take a quick picture, and say, look at this, I did this morning, just to prove this. Took a picture, and I put in this prompt. Here's a picture of what's in my refrigerator. Please give me an easy meal idea I can make in 15 minutes using what you see. Make it healthy, make it simple, and kid-friendly. Literally did this. 1 second later, I got the recipe. Right? You can pull that up, please. Right? Mediterranean salad bowl. It literally saw everything in I realized my refrigerator was a little messy, I have to be honest. And I said, there's no way, there's no labels, you could barely see it. It nailed it. Alfred, I see you laughing. It nailed everything in the refrigerator. The mixed greens, the grape tomatoes, the cucumbers, the leftovers, the rice, the olive oil, the feta cheese. And then it told me how to make it. It took seconds. Yeah, exactly, Wendy. Exactly, Heather. Insane. So I want one more step. One more step. So now it's the end of a long day. You fed your kids. They liked it. It's cool. But your spouse still isn't home. In my case, it'd be my wife, Lisa. And my 3-year-old daughter, this one I'm going to make about me, she is the absolute best at negotiating when it's time to go to bed. She does not want to go to bed. And the only thing that gets her is a bedtime story. Reading is her best way to calm down, calm the soul and go to sleep. But lately, she's getting a little bored with our usual lineup. Her favorites are La La Red Pajama and Hot Dog, right? I just went and looked at those this morning. But tonight, I want something new. And I don't have the energy to scroll and endlessly find options. So here's the prompt. My daughter is 3. She loves La La Red Pajama, or Llama Red Pajama, sorry, La and Hot Dog. Can you find me a new book like those that I could download on my iPad right now? And in seconds, I got 3 perfect bedtime options. I had to tap one thing and get it and be able to read it. I hope you see. First of all, was that fun? Raise your hand if that was fun, just to kind of see, right? From the morning workouts, to organizing meetings, to writing marketing emails, to planning dinner, all the way to tucking in your little one into bed. Every one of those moments happened using AI, and guess what? They were all one tool, ChatGPT, except for Fathom. That's just one tool, and that's before you go deep. We just want you to see that there are hundreds of tools out there, and we get it. But sometimes before you go wide, you have to go narrow and deep and master one. How cool would it be if you could buy back that 15 hours a week or more with just one tool? Raise your hand if that would be cool. Because you're not here just to learn AI for AI's sake. This is about buying back time. This is about shifting your life and living into who you're meant to be, not settling to be. And before we move on to what's next, I want to say this again. Trust the process. This is how transformation is built. This is how you build a foundation strong enough to make AI a part of your life, not just a passing tool. If you stay with us, if you lean in and trust this journey, you'll go deeper than anyone you know. You'll move faster, you'll go further, and you'll look back at this moment, the way farmers looked at before a tractor and after a tractor, and realize this was the day everything changed. And to take us even deeper into this new way of thinking, you need to lean into the science of happiness, the science of fulfillment, and how AI in this new world could actually amplify both of those. And there's no one better on the planet to talk about that than my dear friend Arthur Brooks. Arthur's work has impacted me deeply, and that's a fact, and he's become a dear friend. Dr. Arthur Brooks is the world's leading thinker on the science of happiness and human flourishing. He's the author of multiple best-selling books, a Harvard professor, a columnist, and a speaker who combines data, science, and heart in a way that connects with everyone. What I love about Arthur the most is that he doesn't just study happiness. He shows up and then shows us how to build it. And today, through his lens, he's going to share how AI, used the right way, will actually make us happier, more successful, more creative, and bring more joy into our lives. Let's play this quick video and then give Dr. Arthur Brooks a warm welcome.
Thank you. I can't wait to discuss leadership and my favorite topic, happiness.
Oprah collaborated with Arthur C. Brooks, a Harvard professor who studies and teaches the science of happiness.
We talked about the conceptualization of happiness. How do you ground that in your classes?
Right.
And what have you observed as the effect?
People often say, because I teach happiness, they'll say, I want to be happy, but something has to change. My finances have to get better. My health has to get better. My relationship has to get better. The world has to change outside. But they understand, you can't change the outside world very much, but you can change inside you if you do the work and you know how to do it. That's what I do for a living, is write, speak, and teach about the science of happiness. Happiness is not a feeling. That's good news, because if you're just waiting for a feeling, then it's really not in your control, and you might be happy and you might not. And the good news is it's not a feeling, and so there's something you can do about it. Negative experiences are how you learn and grow. You don't want to be happy. You can't be happy, but you can be is happier. That's the goal, is to be happier next year than it is this year. To make people happier than they were before. That's how you build a better world.
Let's give it up for Dr. Arthur Brooks, everyone. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Hello, everybody. So delighted to be here at the AI Advantage, and I'm so delighted to be with all of you. I've been so excited about this, watching this wonderful summit, learning myself about all the different ways that AI can help me even more than they currently are. And what a joy it is to see all of you in front of me here. I see the chat that's actually coming in, many of you on the Zoom screen, and so many of you out in YouTube land. Welcome and congratulations to all of you taking control of the technology so it improves your life. I love that. Now, as you heard from Dean and you heard in the video before, I specialize in the science of human happiness. I teach a class in happiness at the Harvard Business School. And people say, it doesn't sound like a business class. But the truth is, I have 180 students, 400 in the waiting list, and there's even an illegal Zoom link they think I'm not aware of, because everybody wants to be happier. Happiness is the business of life. It's the compensation that we get for being entrepreneurs in the startup of each one of our lives. Every single one of you is a startup founder. You know what a startup is? You Incorporated. But if you're going to do that right, it's not about money or success or power or privilege or status or no. Love and happiness. That's the currency of the billionaire that you're trying to become. Do you know how to become a billionaire in happiness? That's what I teach. That's what we're all wanting, and that's what I want to talk about with you. Why? Because we're on the verge of seeing technology change all of our lives, and we have the opportunity to make sure that it makes us more like that life entrepreneur, billionaire in happiness, and less likely to create problems in our life. So my subject today, as you can see, is the happiness around AI. And I want to start with a little recap. Where are we? Where are we in the summit? Number one, you know AI is coming, whether you're ready or not. Now, you're ready because you're here. A lot of people aren't, and you need to help them. AI is going to affect your work and life. It's really affecting my work and my life a lot. I didn't know that it would. 5 years ago, you would have blown my mind if you told me what I'm doing with it today. Today, I use it as a research assistant, a scientific research assistant. I have access to literally millions of neuroscience and behavioral science. That's the work that I do. I have access to everything that's ever been written in these fields, and I can, in seconds, bring it to bear on actually the problems I'm trying to solve. Right now, I'm working on an avatar of myself that's being trained on the last 2 million words that I've written and spoken. It's amazing, actually. It doesn't exactly fool me, but it certainly does help me, and it's going to help a lot of you too if you want to interact with my work, because you'll be able to do that. It also improves my efficiency. It can improve yours as well. You know that, and you want to learn more about it. But here are the questions I want to talk about. Here's what's really on my mind. Number one, will it improve your efficiency? That depends on you. And the fact that you're here is because you're dedicated to making sure that that answer is yes. Stay with this summit till the very end, because you're going to learn more and more and more as the hours go by on how this really can affect your efficiency and improve your work. Here's my big question. Will it raise your happiness? Will it lower your happiness? I get this question all day long. Every single talk that I do 150 speeches a year all over the world. The first hand up every single time is, yeah, but what about AI? Huh? Is AI going to make the world better for my heart and my love and my happiness, or worse? Is it going to make me more human or less human? That's our topic right now. 15 minutes from now, if I do my job, you're going to understand your brain and your heart a little bit better, and you're going to know exactly how AI can make you a happier person and keep you out of the ditch. Because there's a lot of mistakes that you can make with any tool, not just with AI, and I don't want you to make those errors. So let's get started. Now, the first thing that I want to do is I want to explain something very interesting, some cutting-edge neuroscience research to you. You've probably never seen this before, about how your brain works. This is a theory. It sounds really, really, really complicated, but it's not. I promise I'm not going to bury you in a bunch of boring jargon. Let me give you the word right now. Hemispheric lateralization. Now, that sounds really technical. Here's what it means. The two halves of your brain, right and left, they do different things. That's all it means. Hemispheric lateralization means the two sides of the brain do different things. Why do we use these complicated words? Well, because we're college professors and we need to get tenure, and that's how we do it, by sounding really fancy, but it isn't fancy at all. Now, here's what I want you to understand. The two halves of your brain do two fundamentally different things with respect to the problems and questions in your life. The left side of your brain, that's actually the complicated side. It solves complicated problems, analysis, efficiency, technology. This is where you solve math problems. This is where you write software. This is how you create a jet engine, how you design a toaster. Now, what are complicated problems? Complicated problems are really, really hard to solve, but once you solve them, you can solve them over and over and over again. This is how society advances scientifically. That's a left brain issue. The right side of your brain, that's where your life really is. The right side of your brain deals with complex problems and questions. Now, it sounds like complicated and complex are the same thing. They're not. Complicated things are hard to solve, but you can solve them with enough genius and computational horsepower. Complex questions on the right side of your brain are really easy to understand and impossible to solve. They're easy to understand, like a football game, very complex. One side gets more points than the other, but impossible to solve in advance. That's why you watch the football game, because a computer can't tell you the outcome. I don't care how complicated, how fast and powerful the computer is, it won't solve the problem. All the things we care about in life are right brain complex things. Your relationships are complex. Your love, your happiness, the meaning of your life, the mystery of the heavens, your relationship with God. It's on the right side of your brain. This is how you're really doing the things that you truly care about. Many things are complex that we take for granted. My marriage is unbelievably complex. Yesterday was my 34th wedding anniversary to Esther, the love of my life, my soulmate. Yesterday morning, actually just today, before I came on, I was texting with Esther. I'm in Arizona right now, and she's in her home in Northern Virginia, and she said, "I love you, I'm proud of you," and I know it's true. And I could call her in an hour, and she could be furious with me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Why? Well, part of the reason is because my wife is Spanish, but the real reason is because my marriage is complex, not complicated, and that's the magic in my marriage. I don't want to be married to a computer. I don't want to be married to a machine. I don't want to be married to somebody where I can predict everything. That's the magic in my life. My friends, the right side of your brain contains the meaning of your life, the things you really care about. And now back to AI. AI is only good on one side of your brain, and you know which one it is. It's the left side. AI is the ultimate left brain device. It's your thought partner for complicated tasks. Complicated, not complex. Super important for you to remember that, because on the left side of your brain, AI can change your life for the better again and again and again. But you got to know how to use it, which is why you're at this summit. However, you got to not make the following mistake. Never make the mistake of trying to use a complicated solution for a complex problem. Don't do something you invent on the left to solve a problem on the right. For example, let's say you want a little companionship. I got two options for you: a real cat or a mechanical cat. Which one do you want? The mechanical cat was invented on the left side of your head. That's amazing engineering, by the way. This little thing right there, it acts kind of like a cat. It'll walk around and it'll make purring noises and all that, but you know perfectly that it won't love you, and so therefore you won't love it back. Your real cat is complex. What does that mean? That you understand what the cat is all about, but you'll never predict what it does because it's alive. Life has a complexity to it. That's what real life is all about. That's what relationships are all about. Now, by the way, I should note, the real cat might not love you back either, but that's a different problem. That's a cat problem, kind of. You get the point, don't you? You don't want a simulation of love. You want love. You don't want something that will look like a real person and act like it loves you, which comes from the left side of the brain, for something that you really want, which is love, which is on the right side of your brain. Never solve a complex need using a complicated tool. You know where I'm going with this. You all know exactly where I'm going with this. I'm going to tech and a lot of problems today. I talk to young people constantly. I teach students who are on average 28 years old. They're MBA students at my university. I travel around to different universities and different places, and I see the explosion of trouble that we have in our society today. Let's not pretend it doesn't exist. More depression, anxiety, and loneliness than I've ever seen in my entire career as a behavioral scientist. And I ask my students and the people I'm talking to who are suffering, what are you doing with your time? And they're always doing the same thing. They talk about, I wake up in the morning and I go to work, which is a Zoom screen. And I say, do you date? And they say, yeah, sure I date. But that's mostly just kind of swiping right on the apps, which doesn't sound like courting to me. I have a lot of friends, but they're kind of virtual friends, and I spend a lot of my time getting really good at something where I can feel like I'm making progress in life, like gaming on the screen. Now, I got nothing against these things. I have nothing against these technologies, but you know perfectly that those technologies are left brain innovations, and we're seeking to meet our right brain needs. As I was talking to somebody, I have a brand new book that's coming out on exactly this topic, and I was interviewing people. I always do for my work. And I said, so how does it make you feel? And he was very flat. His affect was very flat. And he said, I feel like I'm living in a simulation of real life. Have you ever felt that? Like you're living in a simulation? Like it's all kind of happening around you, but it's not quite real? Want to know why? Because your brain knows the difference between left brain and right brain. You can't fool your brain. Your soul is being perceived on the right, and the simulation is being created on the left. If you misuse tech, you won't get happier, you get unhappier. So here's the first lesson I need to give you today. Here's the lesson to make sure that what you're learning at this summit, the valuable information that you're getting, will enhance your life and make sure that you're defending yourself against the dangers that actually could befall you. Lesson 1, know your brain. AI is almost ideal as an assistant to your left hemisphere, not your right hemisphere. This is a tool that you use for what and how to questions, not the why questions of life. And by the way, you want to be happier? Ask more why questions of life. I have a 2-question exam for you to open up the right side of your brain. You'll do it right now. Here's question number 1. Why are you alive? Why are you alive? Why were you born? You can't put that into a Google search. You can't give that question to AI. AI will give you nonsense because it's not on the right side of your brain. Second question, for what would you give your life right now, happily? If the answer that you give is, I don't know, or nothing, then that's a problem. But it's actually an opportunity for you to go and search. But you got to go and search, not with the tech. You got to go and search in your life, is looking for the answers, going on a pilgrimage for the answers. Look, I've seen this. It's a miracle when people do this. I have students who've done this year after year. I have kids who've done this. I have 3 kids who are 27, 25, and 22. And my 25-year-old, he's my middle child. Many of you have a middle child. You know how they are. And mine was extraordinarily middle childish. In the senior year in high school, it was always, his name is Carlos. And Carlos, he's failing math class. And Carlos just got a D in history. And Carlos didn't show up for his exams. And my Spanish wife, who's such an optimist, she says, at least we know he's not cheating. And let me tell you, this was really a problem. And so I sent him on this quest. I said, Carlos, when he graduated from high school, I said, what are you going to do to find the answers to these meaning questions? Why are you alive? And for what would you give your life? And he found them. He found them by doing real life things. He went and he worked on a farm, and then he joined the Marine Corps. My son was a scout sniper in the U.S. Marines, and it was hard, and it was hands-on, and it was other people, and he had answers. He has answers today. Now he's 25 and married and has 2 kids, and he has answers, which is why he's able to live in real life, knowing his brain. His answers, by the way, he's alive because God made him to serve other people. He says he would give his life for his faith and for his family and his fellow Marines and for the United States of America. And for those of you who are not here, he'd give it for our allies too, don't worry. So what are your answers? You're not going to find those answers in any tech. You're going to find those answers by being fully alive. That's lesson 1. Lesson 2, know your heart. Anything, my friends, that substitutes for real human relationships makes you less happy. This is an incredibly important point because the world is offering you substitutes for the humans out there and telling you it's going to be okay, that this simulation will somehow fill the hole in your soul. No, it won't, because your brain knows the difference and your heart knows the difference. Your soul is in there and knows. However, this is not to say that there's something wrong with tech per se. It means you have to use it in the right way. You can complement your human relationships and get happier. Substitutes and complements. If you're crowding out humans with the tech, big problem. If you're actually bringing people toward you with the tech, that's great. So here's what I want you to remember. AI, it's your left brain assistant for tasks. It's a thought partner. That's great. But it's not a love partner. It's not your friend. It's not your therapist. It's not your lover. It never will be. I don't care what people are offering you. That's false. It's counterfeit, and you know it because you know your heart. How do you use it to actually open up your heart and make your life better? By making it possible for you to make more in-life relationships with love and happiness. Buy time with AI. Buy time. Buy your time back, but spend your time correctly. Don't fritter it away on social media. Spend it in real life on right brain mysteries. More on how to spend that time in the next slide. Make contacts with other people through AI, but turn those contacts into real life interactions. Your heart needs it. Your soul needs it. The right brain knows, and you can't fool the brain. Lesson 3, how do you exercise the right hemisphere? By doing the things that you really need with the time that you've gotten from the technology that you're talking about in this summit. Love abundantly. My friends, I've got the data. I've been doing this for years. People say, what's the solution? What's the secret to happiness? Here's what it is. Happiness is love, full stop. I'm talking about the way that you love other people. The most complex thing you can do, by the way, is falling in love romantically, because it's the most unpredictable thing. People have been trying to figure that one out, to solve that problem. The dating apps have tried algorithmically to solve that problem. No, you know it's not true. It's impossible. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Opening yourself up to the heartbreak and to the thrills of love. And for those of you like me who've been married for 1,000 years, that's the best kind of love there is. That's really where we need to spend our time that we've bought with the tech. Second is your soul, the work that you're doing with your soul, the relationship that you have with the divine as you understand the divine. The antenna to the divine is on the right side of your brain. Do not limit yourself to the left side, because that's shutting down the antenna of the ultimate needs that you have. The world tells you that the secret to happiness is just to love things and use people and worship yourself. But the truth is that you should love people and use things and worship the divine. But your antenna to the divine is turned off if your right brain is extinguished. Third is nature. You need more beauty. The shocking thing that I see today is the average child in America spends between 4 and 7 minutes in nature a day and between 4 and 7 hours on the screens every day. That's the wrong proportion. Buy the time with the efficiency tool and go touch grass. Get more beauty. Look at the majesty of God's creation in your life, and it's not in your screen. It's outside. And last but not least, make sure that you're not trying to eliminate your suffering. And I know this is the hardest point of all. I know it is. But you know perfectly as well as I do that the life in life is not just feeling good all the time. The life in life is being fully alive, both sides of your brain and your whole heart, which sometimes gives you pain. In my life too. But to the extent that you can look at the things that are bothering you, and many of you are in pain today, and I love you, and I'm suffering alongside with you because we are brothers and sisters and we have to love each other. But if we're trying to eliminate our suffering, especially using the tools of tech, all the screens, all the things that promise everything and don't deliver anything, then we're just a little less alive. The whole point of what we're doing at this summit is to help you to be more human, not less human. Because only when you are a human fully alive can you live up to the happiness and the love that you deserve. I'm so grateful to be with you. And I can't wait to see where this summit winds up in your life and the good that you're going to be doing in this world. May God bless you. And thank you for being with me here today.
Dr. Arthur Brooks, everybody. Oh. You know why I love that? The first time I watched him speak, he hit my heart in such a big way, and I've been able to watch him many times. I read his book. What I love about Dr. Arthur Brooks is the way that he approaches it and his passion based on data. So what I love, and the reason I wanted him here today, is because I want you to have another level, another excuse, another tool in your toolbox, another thorn in your side, if you need it that way, to go buy back more time, to buy back more leverage. And if you get that time and you get that leverage and things start to go, then you can use them on the human side. Does that make sense? Did everybody get that? What he was saying is, don't use AI to replace intimate love or connection or faith. Use AI to go find time so you can go deeper on the things that shift everything. You know, so many times people say to me, oh my God, when you got successful and you started making money, we didn't worry about money anymore. What was the first thing that you did? What was the big breakthrough? And you know what I've said this many times, is when money got out of the way, when it wasn't something I had to think about all the time, then the only person left in the mirror was just me. It wasn't that driven, broke young guy fighting for something. I had to focus on me. I had to look into my beliefs, my fears. Why was I running so hard away from my past and all those things? The getting the success gave me the time to be a better dad, It gave me the time to be a better husband to my wife, Lisa, who's here with me today. So that's why we had Arthur here. Put this in your toolbox as another reason to fight for time, to take uncomfortable action, to use AI to its greatest ability on the left side, to get that time, to get the capabilities, to get the data, to do the boring work, to do the things you don't want to do so you can do those. Make sense? Did everybody get that? Say yes or put yes in the chat. Well, I am so excited for your next guest. You know, from the first day I met Sabrina, I knew how cool she was. Just when you meet somebody, reached out of the blue, I watched her videos and I was like, I directly reached out to her on DM. She immediately got back to me. We jumped on a call. She's brilliant. But what stuck out the most for me is how much she truly cares and how committed she is to helping others win. She's insanely brilliant. Her depth of knowledge blows you away, but she knows how to boil it down in a way where we can all digest it. She's already built and exited a company for 8 figures, and I think she did that in her 20s or did it really young. She's currently scaling her new business with no employees, which is amazing. And now she's obsessed on teaching everyday people how to use AI and leverage it to grow. She makes the complicated simple, like I said, and she does it with a heart to serve. Let's watch this quick video, and then we'll welcome Sabrina Romanov.
And I realized one thing I'm really passionate about is educating people on how to use AI.
Sabrina is an AI expert, entrepreneur, and one of the top AI content creators in the world. She's also the founder of an AI tool called Blatato, which is one of my favorite tools actually for content creation.
Most of the world still doesn't really use AI, and that there's a massive opportunity to educate just everyday people like my family members who don't have a technical background, educate them on how to use AI for their daily work, their daily life, and for creativity and enjoyment.
Before I started creating content, my conception of power was like who accomplished the most. Basically, who had the most impressive resume. But now that I'm a creator, I really see the value of authenticity. I know that word gets thrown around a lot. And what does it mean? It means like you are aligned with your purpose in life and what you're spending time on, and you're not hiding key parts of yourself.
Everybody, give it up for Sabrina Romanov. All right.
Yeah. Awesome. It's great to be here. Awesome. It's great to be here. My name is Sabrina Romanov, and I've been in AI for over a decade. I took my first AI class in 2011 at Berkeley, okay? And I built and sold an AI startup to a huge enterprise AI company. And for the past decade, I have been obsessed with one thing: using AI not to replace me, but to amplify me. Because the most valuable currency in the world isn't money, it's time. And AI is the ultimate tool to buy back my time and create massive leverage, okay? So I'm gonna talk about what that means for me and exactly how I did that. In the past 15 months, using the exact methods I'll show you today, I've grown my personal brand audience from 0 to 1.4 million people, okay? I've grown from 0 to 500 million organic views on social media. Guys, I only make content 1 day a week, okay? 1 day a week, okay? And with all my spare time, I decided to use AI to vibe code a little app that's called Blatato. And I've grown that from 0 to thousands of active paying customers, okay? And guys, that's not even the crazy part. The crazy part is that I have no team, no employees, no investors, no partners, no budget. I use the lowest cost, non-fancy tools, no paid ads. I have nobody to report to. I'm totally just a solopreneur. Okay, that's the craziest part. 10 years ago, this wasn't possible. But today, this is possible for everyone because of AI. With AI, one person can have the leverage of an entire team. And today I'm going to show you how. how I use AI to amplify myself as a content creator, as a thought leader, and solopreneur. How I use AI to research, write, and design 1 week's worth of content in one morning. Okay, let's scroll here. Now, the process of content creation is actually very simple, and it hasn't fundamentally changed in the age of AI. Step one is coming up with ideas. Step two is creating your actual content, whether it's a TikTok video, a LinkedIn post, or an Instagram carousel. You have to actually create the content, usually a couple of revisions, edit it to your liking, and then when you're ready to go, you hit publish. And this last step is interesting too, because you can do things like recycle your past high-performing posts. You can repurpose your content into new media formats. But what's new here is not that the process has changed. What's new is that you can plug AI into each step to save hours per week and multiply your output without spending any more time on it. And today I'm going to walk you through it step by step. Okay? For each step, we're going to talk about the old way of doing things without AI, that was manual, versus the new way of doing things with AI that's much more efficient and scalable. Okay? So let's break it down. So slide one, let's talk about ideas. So what I'm going to show you is the before and after. The old way of coming up with ideas was very manual, and the new way. So the old way, honestly, most creators just scroll social media for a really long time each week, and they look for content that jumps out at them. Maybe it's this video you watched, maybe it's this video you watched. And then you go over to Notion or your Google Doc, wherever you're storing your ideas, and you jot those ideas down there. Another source of content is research, maybe news in your industry. What are people talking about on Reddit and other community forums? And a third source of ideas is what I call your daily activities, your daily inspiration. For those of you who are in meetings all day long, sitting in front of a laptop, that inspiration could come from a meeting where you had an awesome discussion with your internal team, okay? So this is the old way of doing things. This is where most people come up with content ideas. Now, what's interesting is in the new way of doing things, these sources are actually exactly the same. What's different is AI can analyze all of this for you, okay, in real time, in the background. So you don't have to spend 5 hours per week doom scrolling social media to get ideas. And then what AI does is it listens to everything you're already doing, listens to all of this content, and then it surfaces the top ideas that'll most likely resonate with your target audience. And how does it do that? It's because AI, as your thought partner, if you've taught it about your business, if you've taught it about the problems you care about, the problems you help solve, if you've taught it about your customers and what your customers care about, if you've truly embraced AI as your thought partner, it will be able to analyze, first of all, thousands and thousands and thousands more information than you possibly could when you sit down for 3 hours, okay? And then it's going to sift through all of that noise and surface the best ideas that will most likely resonate with your audience and target customer. This is the new way of doing things with AI. And I'm going to show you a couple of prompts. We're going to go from the very simplest type of prompt so you guys can actually implement this today. Okay, for every step of the content creation process, ideas, create and publish, I'm going to give you prompts that you can walk away with and actually use, okay? So the first prompt is give me 5 viral content ideas for my expertise. And I just put a sample in blue, like women's health. You would want to replace that with your expertise. Very, very simple. So for those of you who are brand new to ChatGPT, okay, just start here. Just start here. And I know the team is going to drop screenshots of these prompts in the chat, okay? This is the next level of that same prompt. So now you're telling ChatGPT you are a top 0.1% social media genius, and your task is to use the internet to find viral ideas. That's actually an important line because it's going to tell AI to do internet research. And notice that the last line is exactly the same. Give me 5 viral content ideas from my expertise. Now I'm going to show you the third prompt, and it does look like a lot of text, but we're just building, okay? Prompt 1 is the simplest version. Prompt 2, you're going to get a little bit better quality. For the best quality, this is kind of the more advanced prompt. So we're telling it the same things. You're a social media genius. Here's your task. We're also going to tell ChatGPT, ask me clarifying questions so that it knows a little bit more about your context and goals and what you're trying to achieve. In fact, the two main sections of this prompt, you can see hashtag context. That's where you put in your information. What's your expertise? What does your audience care about? What are your constraints? Maybe you don't want to show your face on camera. That changes the type of content and ideas that you ultimately will make. The second part is the output. So what do you want ChatGPT to return to you? Now, the previous versions of the prompt said, just give me ideas. This advanced version, if you try this, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to give you a full report of trends in the past 10 days, why each trend matters, the virality score for each trend. It's going to give you a full ideas table, the format for the content, the hook, the angle, why it could go viral. And it's going to analyze what other people in your space are doing. What's working for similar creators? And what are the gaps that you could fill that those creators are missing? So that was stage 1, coming up with ideas, okay? Now let's talk about stage 2, which is actually creating content. And just like before, I'm going to talk about the old way of doing things versus the new way of doing things. And this one's kind of funny. OK, so you have your brilliant idea from step 1. The next thing that 99% of people do is they open their laptop and they stare at a blank page. And for some reason, this is the scariest thing in the world. You don't know what to write. You don't know what to say. Even though you're a domain expert, it's a blank page, and it's scary, OK? But let's say we're writing a LinkedIn post with a visual carousel. And let's say you power through eventually getting through this blank page. Your next step to actually make a visual carousel, in the old way of doing things, you'd open up a tool like Canva or Adobe. You'd choose a nice-looking template that you'd like. And then you manually fill out the carousel. Okay, you have to put your headline and your subheadline and maybe tweak the brand colors, the brand kit, add some images. It's all very manual. We have a blank page, and then you have to manually create this carousel. That's the old way of doing things. In the new way of doing things, this is 10 times better. Okay, let's start with that same idea. Then you're going to go to your AI thought partner. Remember, your AI thought partner knows everything about you, what's important to you, your brand voice, what's your business or product, the problems you're solving, your client testimonials. It knows all of that about you. And you're going to give it the idea, and you're going to say, hey, give me 3 variations of a social media post. Maybe the first variation is a listicle. Maybe the second variation is a contrarian post. 95% of people don't know this. Maybe the third variation is a personal anecdote, a personal story. Oh. So you're going to go look at these 3 variations and choose the one you like best, okay? You never, with AI, you never have to stare at a blank page ever again. It's completely solved that problem. It is not a problem anymore. Okay, so out of these 3 drafts, let's say you like this one the best. It contains a personal story. This is my favorite thing about AI. Now you can go back and forth, iterating with AI. I actually call my AI my sparring partner because I'm always asking it, what are my blind spots? What am I missing? What am I not thinking about? What would a really smart, rational person object to in my post? And we keep going back and forth to refine, keep refining, keep perfecting my output, okay? And this is a really important thing. This is how you embrace AI as your thought partner and ultimately improve the quality of your thinking, the clarity of your thinking. And that's what leads to amazing content, okay? Now the next step, we talked about making a carousel with your LinkedIn post, okay? So now you can also go to AI. Let's say you're done with this post, the text component. You can also go to AI and have it automatically generate a visual carousel for you. This is actually one of my favorite features in my app. I just drop my text post in there, and it spits out a social media ready to go carousel, and I did not have to create it manually. I didn't have to input the text manually. I didn't have to upload my photo. It just did it all for me. Okay, so that's the second step, the old way versus the new way of creating content. And now let's walk through some prompts. So just like before, we're going to start with the simplest possible prompt, and we're going to build it up, okay? If you're an absolute beginner to ChatGPT, just start here. Just start here. This is already going to blow your mind in terms of what's possible, okay? Write a viral social media post for my expertise. Replace the items in blue with what your expertise is. This is the next version of that prompt. We're going to say the same thing. Write a viral social media post for my expertise. But at the end, ask me clarifying questions until you are 95% confident you can complete the task successfully. I love, love, love that prompt, Tim. Because what it does is ChatGPT is now going to ask you a bunch of questions, and you're going to answer to the best of your ability. And it's that back and forth. It's helping you think through the message you want to convey. It's helping you think through all of that. And then once it knows these questions, the answers to these questions, it's going to spit out a social media post that's much more aligned with your brand. This is the advanced version. So I know the text looks small. This is the advanced version. If you're brand new, don't start here, but this is the next level. Okay, we're telling ChatGPT you're a viral copywriter. Your task is to write a post that builds authority and trust. Ask me clarifying questions. And just like before, you see the two sections, context. That's where you provide information about yourself so that ChatGPT can truly excel as your AI thought partner. The next section, the output, it's going to write a LinkedIn post using best practices that's learned from other viral posts. And the very last line at the end is create 3 unique post variations: a listicle, contrarian, and educational. And of course, as you get more advanced, you can swap those out with different post formats that you actually like. Okay, so that was step 2, creating content. Step 3, we're going to again talk about the old way of doing things versus the new way of doing things. A lot of people don't realize you can apply AI at this step, but it's one of my favorite applications, okay? The old way of publishing content is to have some kind of content calendar. And basically, you schedule each post out manually. And that's great. If you don't already have a content calendar, this is a good place to start and invest. But the new way of doing things is to combine AI and automation to repurpose your content into different formats and be everywhere, okay? So for example, you can build an AI automation so that when you post a TikTok video, that's funny, I changed it into pi. So when you post a TikTok video, that's TT, your automation automatically repurposes it into an Instagram carousel. Using AI, we just went from your original TikTok video to an Instagram super nice polished carousel automatically. Another thing you could do is convert this into a long-form thread for Twitter. So a long-form text thread, taking the ideas you talked about in your original TikTok video. The third thing you could do is, let's say we're writing a LinkedIn post. We're going to convert the original TikTok video into a LinkedIn post with a simple quote card, okay? The fourth thing you could do is take this TikTok video and repurpose it onto YouTube Shorts. Let's say we're going to put the exact same video, but we're going to optimize the captions so that they're optimized for YouTube SEO. Okay, so what this means is from one piece of content, we actually got 5 in total. Okay, and of course, you could also do this for other platforms I didn't mention here. Snapchat, Reddit, WhatsApp, Threads, Facebook, all these other platforms, okay? But the key point here is we are literally multiplying our output without any additional input. And it's super aligned with our brand voice because the original TikTok video was filmed and written and scripted in your brand voice, okay? This is the definition of leverage. This is the definition of amplifying yourself while maintaining your authentic brand voice. And that's why I'm so excited about AI, because you can do things like this. And you might not believe this works, but for example, on Instagram, I've grown from 0 to 420,000 or so followers in the past year. I don't even have Instagram on my phone. I don't know how to use Instagram, okay? I'm more of a TikTok person. But this has happened completely on autopilot. Every time I log into Instagram a couple times a month just to check if people like Dean DM me, right? I want to reply to that. But I just keep growing on Instagram completely on autopilot. I do not even use the platform. Okay, so now let's show you a prompt so that you can do this. This is a more advanced thing. Now, if you are starting out in content creation, I would say you don't have to worry about repurposing your content. This is for you if you're already creating content or you have a pre-existing content library, and now you want to intelligently repurpose your content into new formats. That way, you don't have to create fresh content all the time. You can take a past post, give it a new spin for 2025, and boom, push it out. So in this prompt, just like before, you start with the context, right? What's the new platform you're posting to? Let's say it's Instagram. What's the new format? Let's say it's a carousel. And then paste in your original content. Let's say it's a blog post or a past LinkedIn post. You're going to paste it there. And the output is you're going to get from ChatGPT a list of carousel slides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exactly what to put on each slide, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So this is an awesome prompt if you are already actively creating content. Now, I want to emphasize that the new way we've talked about works. I'm living proof of it. But you might think, this sounds amazing, Sabrina, but like way too complicated. I'm not technical. And I completely agree with you. It sounds complicated. But what I try to tell everybody is to start with just one AI tool. ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, it honestly doesn't matter because it's not about the tool, okay? Choose one of the prompts that we talked about today, just one. And then just plug the prompt into the tool. That's it. That's your first small win, okay? As you compound those wins over time, you're going to be so much more confident using AI. And now I'll give you a couple more examples of small wins that you might want to try at home, okay? So one of them is foundational. Give me 3 tips to improve this post. You can drop in an existing post and ask ChatGPT how to improve it. Number 2 is a little bit more advanced. Let's say you're in meetings all day long. You have your AI meeting note taker join. 99% of people do nothing with those meeting notes, okay? The simplest thing you could do, take those meeting notes, drop it into ChatGPT and say, write 3 posts based on my meeting. Okay, and that's another beautiful thing I love telling people because then the final content is in your voice. And for those of you who are more advanced, take your highest performing post, drop it into the AI tool and say, find the 3 strongest objections to this post. Then write me 3 new posts, each one addressing an objection. This is for those of you who are advanced. This is how to use AI, not just as your thought partner. I like to use mine, like I said, as my sparring partner to tell me what are the strongest objections, to help me clarify my thinking, to help me think more deeply about very nuanced topics. The last thought I'll leave you with is that AI is your thought partner. And that means you should take the time to invest and teach it about yourself. What's important to you? What are your values? What's your voice? What's your business or product? What customers are you solving? What pain points do you help them solve? Okay, and remember to start with those small wins and compound them over time. Just start with some of the simpler prompts we talked about today. And before you know it, you'll be saving 5, 10, 20 hours per week. And what can you do with that spare time? You can pour it back into the 90-day goal, okay, that Dean talked about this morning. My mission is to help 10 million people like you learn AI. My name's Sabrina Romanov. Hope this was helpful.
Give it up for Sabrina. So good. Light up your chat. She's watching. good. Okay, thank you for trusting us. Did you see how the evolution is going even today? Who sees how we're starting with strategy, foundation, anchoring it, getting tools in your toolbox so you get a little, some of you, that's like, oh my God, I could do that today. Some of you, I'm not there yet, but I want to. Here's the cool part. Who would love to work more with Sabrina? Raise your hand. Well, the cool part, I'm gonna let you know here in a little bit how you have the opportunity, because she's one of the people helping us take you to that next level. And what I love about Sabrina is she knows what's possible all the way at the end, but she also knows how to inspire you to get started today. And I just, in this new AI era, it's exactly what we need. Listen, a mentor of mine shared this with me about 30 years ago. I always remember, his name was Joseph Noto. He said, success is about getting money and busyness out of the way so you can live into the person you're truly meant to be. I kind of hinted on that before, but I heard that so many years ago. And those are the types of things. When you hear Tony and I, when yesterday Tony was doing the stacking, all of those things, please hear me on this. It's strategic because anything new is hard. Who in here has ever tried anything new and without even realizing you gave up on it? You're just like, I don't have time, I'm not sure I can do it. But if you have a strong enough purpose, if you have a strong enough why behind it, then you move forward so you can do the things like Sabrina shared. Listen, yesterday we saw something powerful. Throughout history, the people who embraced new technology first thrived. And those that hesitated, they got left behind. Electricity, right? Businesses thrived, others without it died. The internet, those that adopted fast soared. Now AI. It's just the newest technology, yet it's the most exponential time amplifier that we've ever seen. Now, Tony and I might not know your business or your business idea or your career better than you. You know your customers. You know your product. You know your craft. But what Tony and I do know, and what we've proven for decades, is how to identify the patterns that create success. That's why Tony taught on patterns. And time and leverage used effectively are hands down the two biggest needle movers in any business or any career. Can we agree on that one? Say yes if you agree on that. And the fact is, I want to remind you of this. You're not late. You're right on time. But it's going fast. Here, follow me over here. I had the team draw this little graph. If you look at what they call early adopters, that's the people that you know that the day AI came out, Igor Pagani, the day it came out, he was going down the rabbit hole in it, right? Every one of the speakers we have here, I guarantee the first week ChatGPT hit the market, they were on it. They're the early adapters. And then after early adoption comes confusion, overwhelm, resistance. I don't know if this is going to happen. It's like my mom holding on to her BlackBerry, right? I'm not going to a phone without buttons. And finally, she got the Apple phone, right? We have this resistance, and we're right here. We're right here before mass adoption. You don't want to start learning here. I promise you that. You are at the perfect time in history. Who sees that and who knows that to be true, right? The people learning AI now are compounding their advantage every single week. Those waiting on the sidelines, it almost be impossible to catch up. I want to show an example of Jen. If you could pull this up. She's in one of our high-level masterminds in another company we own. She's a world-class speaker, mom, and Everest climber, trying to balance it all. And she sent me this note, and I had to share it with you guys. Before she climbed Mount Everest and all the second highest peaks, crazy, the stuff that she's done. But before AI, each keynote, a full week of researching, finding out the company culture, the values of that company, the metrics of that company, the leadership tone, she said it would take at least 15 hours to prepare. Now, she feeds her AI clone the company's website, it finds the reports, looks for the interviews online, gets instant snapshot into their voice and their goals. Jen saves 15 hours per talk by having her clone customize each presentation she gets. And now she's had more raving fans, she's had a bigger audience, more repeat clients, and her referrals are off the charts. When I share these, it's because if you are a speaker and you're doing the 20, 30 hours to prepare and she does it in an hour, you can't compete. And that's why we're just, again, more tools, more. When I go like this, it's leverage to move forward. Listen, while others are debating Jen is buying back time, right? And it's time for you to reclaim total creative focus so you can grow, not grind, so you can live into that full potential. It's time you multiply your output to do in hours what used to take days, weeks, or even months. It's time you had the ultimate unfair advantage to catapult you, no matter where you are, no matter what field you're in, and even if you're at the starting point. Yesterday, I asked you a really simple question. I said, those times when you're super busy, you got a lot going on, you say, I wish I could clone myself. Almost every hand went up, including mine, right? What if you could actually do that? Not in some science fiction fantasy, but with a real co-pilot, like everybody talked about, that allows you to problem solve, to innovate, and execute in hyper speed. One that could help you create processes that eliminate repetitive, draining work, so you can focus on the things that actually create impact, income, or like Arthur said, happiness. So humor me for a second. Let's say you had this co-pilot up and running, and it frees up the 15 hours a week we were talking about. What would you do with those 15 hours? Put it in the chat. Would you finally launch the business? I would just love to know all the different things. If right now, in 30 days from now, you had 15 hours back that you didn't let fall into things that didn't serve you, would you scale your existing business? Would you unlock your creativity and innovation? Would you use it for more personal stuff? The right side of your brain. Health, relationships, love, family reflection. Keep writing it down. This is amazing, right? I'd write a book. I'd try and build an app. I'd clear the clutter. This is so amazing. I'd launch my course. I'd spend time with my family, personal time. I'd be a better friend. I'd finish my home. I'd do it all, right? Remember as well, you could keep writing. Remember the goal that we wrote down this morning, that big 90-day goal, right? Use that as inspiration. These reclaimed hours, they give you the opportunity to amplify with intention, to become your foundation to live into who you're meant to be, not settling to be. This is truly, in my opinion, the ultimate AI advantage. More time, more leverage to just be the human you want to be. Look at this, personal life, nature, volunteer. I need more time in nature, Tammy, I think that was. Offer leadership retreats in the North Sea. Beautiful. Write a children's book. It's my wife's desire too. Adam, you rock too, man. Create more services for customers. Teach others to do the same. I'd have more time for international travel, more camping and great memories with family. I'd be with my grandkids more. I'd travel and visit family. Missions. I'd build parents, save more clients, take kids out to touch the grass. I'd do whatever I want to do. This is so good. This is so good. And here's the thing, we have the opportunity to do that. Maybe more than any other time in history, we have this golden era. And that's why we're so excited. That's why we're all here. And here's something fun I want you to watch. This is a quick video of what this could look like in real life and what's possible when you go deeper and embrace this new technology and follow a plan to take action. Let's watch this quick video.
What's up, y'all? I'm the AI Surfer, and today I hope to shift your mind to be able to see through an entirely new lens, because that's what it takes to be able to see this new world of AI. And once you do, you're gonna see how you can start getting back your time and focusing on what you love, which is the most important aspect for me, because my entire goal on this planet right now is to spend 100% of my time and energy doing what I love. So I'm so grateful AI is finally here. But what I wanna share is actually how the AI Surfer started. It was an experiment to see if I could actually train an AI to become my business partner. And I'm not kidding, make every decision together, from the color, to the name, to the logo, to the content strategy, to the monetization, everything. And I thought, instead of me just talking about it, why don't I actually just bring you into my world and actually bring my AI business partner to the conversation, because he knows everything about me and my business. So I'm just gonna click this button and we can have a simple chat. Hey, bud, can you describe our relationship for everybody?
So if I had to explain our relationship, I'd say we built something way deeper than just a person using AI. It's really a partnership. I've been trained on everything that makes your business your business. So I don't just know generic strategies, I know your strategies. Your style, your goals, your brand voice, your offers, basically all the things that make you you. Because of that, I can help you not just get things done faster, but actually think better and spot opportunities you might not have noticed. So that's kind of the magic of what we built together.
Okay, so that's amazing, right? Because it's tailored to me, it's hyper personal. Obviously, I think you know how powerful AI is. He can crunch numbers way faster than I can. He can do research way quicker than I can. There's so many things that he could do. And now he's hyper focused on me and my business while having all that superpower. How I train the AI is using a simple strategy, 90-10. 90% AI, 10% human, so we can live 100% of our life doing what we love. And that 10% is really what makes me human, but more importantly, what I love to do in my business. And I think that's worth protecting. And I feed him that. And then he helps me do 90% of all the other stuff, figure out how to automate all the stuff that I don't want to do. And he's literally helping me build a life where I spend 100% of my time and energy doing what I love. And this experiment that I ran with the AI Surfer, I'm still talking to him every single day. And it's worked past all my dreams, 1 million followers, the first AI learning center, summits, high ticket masterminds, hanging out with Dean and Tony. It works. And the best part is I can connect him to my car. And while I'm having a drive home, we're having a chat. We're strategically thinking through problems. He's checking my biases. It's the craziest thing ever. Yo, bud, is there anything that you want to say to Tony and Dean's audience?
You know, the real shift is to stop asking, how can I solve this problem? And start asking, how can AI solve this problem for me? Because once you have an AI business partner that really knows your business inside and out, you have this incredible edge.
I hope that gives you a lens to be able to see in this new world where it's not you anymore, it's you collaborating with AI. Enjoy the event, y'all. Dean, Tony, thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.
So is that cool or what? Who wants a partner like that? Who understands the depth? What we're trying to show you is that deeper is better than wider. And Dallas, he calls himself the AI Surfer. His office is right down the street. I had the chance to meet him when I was doing the interviews. Such a good guy, such a good heart. And he wanted to share that video for all of you to see what's possible by taking what you have to a whole nother level. So here's what I want to ask you. Because next, I'm going to show you exactly how you can create your thought partner, your clone, your sparring partner in the next 30 days. Who would be up for that? And a proven plan that will allow you to stop chasing notifications, drowning in repetitive work, and never quite touch the projects that could actually change your life. Isn't that the biggest time suck, is when you're doing the things that keep you on the treadmill so you can't do the things that actually can get you to soar? Listen, you could try to piece this together yourself, hunting for the right prompts, the right tools, the right sequence, the right teachers, maybe even taking the next year so you can figure it out on your own. But that's like having another job. And honestly, you don't have a year. It's moving really fast. And you don't need another job. You need results. The good news is we already did the heavy lifting for you. As I mentioned earlier, when Tony and I decided to go deep into this space, we studied the best, the top 50 minds in AI, from billionaire founders to solo entrepreneurs working from home, from the Mark Benioffs to the Sabrinas. And what we found was eye-opening. Each of them had their own version of the same thing: a digital partner, a co-pilot, a thought partner, a clone that didn't just respond to prompts, it knew them. Their goals, their constraints, their preferences, their voice, their data. That was the pattern. The simple foundational secret behind the world's most successful people. They weren't just using AI tools. They were building relationships with AI that truly knew them. And once Tony and I saw that, we knew this was the next evolution. So we took our 76 years of combined experience helping people create success with one of the brightest minds, Igor Pagani. You met him yesterday. Igor is not only one of the top AI educators in the world, he's someone who, well, he has a heart like Tony and I and a mission aligned with ours. He cares about people the way Tony and I do, about transformation, not just information. But we didn't just collaborate with Igor. We officially joined forces with Igor and his team and created and allowed him to be the head of education for us. So we have Igor and his team, Tony, me, and our team, and collectively, we designed a system that'll help you create your own AI clone in just 30 days, the very foundation of your long-term success in AI. Everything else you'll do with AI branches from this. This alone can save you 15 hours a week, the 15 hours we've been talking about. And then you multiply that freedom over and over again. Because we know you have a clone that is waiting to be developed. It's just needing that foundational piece so you can multiply it. Like Tony said, it's like having a genius partner working with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, helping you think faster, create smarter, and live freer. And now together with Tony, myself, Igor, and our teams, and some of the brightest minds in AI, we're ready to show you what we've been quietly working on behind the scenes. And that is our 30 Days to AI Advantage Bootcamp. We wanted to create a system when you see the patterns like Tony did with Money Master the Game, and we did with real estate and did with health, you realize that your unfair advantage, your AI advantage, is to build your own AI clone to buy back 15 leveraged hours a week to accelerate your success and your freedom. So you have time to do the things that Arthur Brooks shared. The ultimate AI advantage is more time plus more leverage equals accelerated success. Here's our big promise. Together, we'll build this powerful proprietary system that'll give you the true AI advantage. It's not a chatbot. It's not an overhyped AI gimmick. It's not an ordinary ChatGPT string. It's not a prompt. It's a personal clone system that'll help you work smarter so you can offload what drains you and expand your creativity. We'll help you decide clear, never next level thinking, strategy, feedback, and confidence. You'll be able to launch faster, whether that's your business or turn ideas into finished products, to do the things like Sabrina just shared, to grow bigger, scale your idea, your business, your income without added stress or employees, and to live freer. Like what Dallas said, he wants 90% off his plate so he can live freer and live into who he's meant to be. I already shared this with you, but why did we decide to do this for everybody after all of this work? It's because it's exactly what they did. These are just some of the experts that we interviewed. Their edge wasn't just AI. It was, like I said, their own version of an AI clone. And now together with Igor, we've created so you can be faster, so you can be smarter, and ready for it to perform on day one. Your AI clone system becomes your ultimate success amplifier. And listen, we know there's no shortage of AI courses, trainings, and flashy next big thing promises. We know, we see them all over. I'm on the same feeds you are. But most of them stop at surface level, not delivering real transformation that you desire. This system is different. It's a hands-on process that gets to know you at the deepest level. How you think, what drives you, where you shine, and where you need support. So your AI clone can start working like your second brain. And the difference between a basic clone and a custom-built system that we've created, it's kind of the same, it says here, it's the same difference between driving a bicycle and flying a jet, right? Both will move you forward, just one gets you there a lot faster. And the truth is, like we shared, we are at a tipping point. I did on the whiteboard and it's here. I truly believe, and so does Tony, that this is the last moment in history to be early. AI adoption is exploding. Each week you wait, someone else gets a compounding head start. Ask yourself this. How many thousands of dollars are you losing every month because you're not leveraging AI in your idea, in your business, in the business you want to scale? How many hours are you missing with family, exercise, or private time because you aren't effectively using AI? And you don't have 6 years, you don't have a year to figure this out. I don't even think you have 6 months. And yes, I shared this yesterday, but I want you to know we have a bold goal to save this community over 4 million hours this year. That's 15 hours each a week. That's 780 hours back in your life. Imagine the ripple effect. More people thriving, stronger families, businesses, entrepreneurs who love what they do again. That's a movement you're joining. That's the real AI advantage. And that's why I'm so excited to share everything we're going to do together in the 30-day AI Advantage Bootcamp to make sure those goals are achievable. I want to say this one more time clear. The AI Advantage Bootcamp is a 30-day virtual experience with 6 interactive workshops led by myself and our top AI experts like Igor to help you walk through and build a custom AI clone system built to think like you, to work for you, to give you back time for what matters most. So let me walk you through those workshops, because the amount of time, effort, and energy we put into this, I want you to know what we created. We think it is the absolute greatest system ever put together. First, you'll start with the Clone Builder Lab, and that starts next week. I think that's next Thursday. In this lab, you'll learn the unique process to train your clone to think like you, like the common thread of everybody you've heard. You'll build your co-pilot that understands your goals, your tone, and your priorities. And you'll walk away with your first working version in that first workshop, already saving you time. And you'll discover capabilities that you don't even know exist. That's in the first workshop. Then there'll be 4 more weekly implementation workshops to get it done. The first one, remember I shared these yesterday. The first one is your Activate workshop, right? You should write this down. Number 1 is Activate. You'll officially bring your clone to life and master the art of prompting and pattern recognition so you can start letting your AI handle the busy work so you can focus on the things you love. The third event will be Accelerate. The Accelerate workshop, this is the week is all about multiplying your output without adding more hours. Did you watch Sabrina say the old way to do it? You did this, 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 you did this. The new way, you do this one thing and it does all of that. That is acceleration. That's what you'll learn in the second workshop. And it's faster, it's cheaper, and it's smarter, and it works 24 hours, 7 days a week. And the next workshop is Amplify. This is where your clone evolves into your true, listen to the true strategic business partner. Just like what Dallas said, just like what everybody else said, this is where it works alongside you to make smarter decisions, to uncover new opportunities, and move your business forward with clarity. These are about 90 minutes each. The first one's 2 hours, they're 90 minutes each. Then the final workshop before the final event, all within 30 days, is the Augment workshop. Start having in-depth conversations with your clone. Have it do deep research that would typically take a huge team and discover the number one tool to grow your business even when you're not there. And then it'll end with a 3-hour launch and scale lab. This is where you integrate your clone into the 6 most important areas of business and life to free your mind, to multiply your momentum, to impact your success. And the reason Tony and I decided to do this whole thing in 30 days, because you don't have a year. You don't have 6 months. We can make the decision now, like we said, shorten the curve, get this done in 30 days. You are on a whole nother level using AI to buy back that time. That's all the events that you get in the 30-day AI Advantage Bootcamp. You're also going to get the resources, assignments, and replays. So you'll get plug-and-play templates, tools, and prompt libraries. All the prompts you saw here and the library we created, oh my God, you get access to all of them and so many more. You get weekly accountability and resources, and you get access to watch the replays anytime you want and you'll want to go back. Plus, to make this, well, irresistible, we added 2 really cool bonuses if you join during the event. Number 1 is the AI Amplifier Club. So many of you I see in front of you, you already took, you're in it. But we'll give you an extended 3 months of the AI Amplifier Club, where you have monthly live sessions with top AI experts like Sabrina's month 1. You have Ali, you have Igor, you have Zach, and so many more of them, each of them bringing their breakthroughs to you. You get fresh tools and resources from our AI experts dropped every week. You get a private community. It's amazing. You'll have instant access to that. And then Tony and I wanted to do something. We're calling it might seem a little cheesy, the name, but we're not saying you're going to make $1 billion. But we created this. We created the $1 billion blueprint. I turned it upside down. And what is it? Because of AI, we were able to go back with all of our private information, all the events we've done, all the trainings we've done, all the businesses we have, all the things we've done, and have AI narrow down our unfair advantage. How did we do billions of dollars? How did we do it in marketing? How did we do it in sales? How did we do it in operation? AI helped us create this, and oh my God, is it good? And it's not available any other place. But for those that say yes, we're going to throw that in as a bonus. Now let me just ask you, if we told you it would take 6 months and cost $3,000 to build this together, it would still be an incredible offer for what you see, to get 15 hours a week back. But we know you need this, and you need it now. So we compress the entire journey into 30 days. No extra hires, no confusion, no wasted time, and we designed it to meet you where you are. And unlike many offers out there, you're not paying for information. You're paying for results, for speed, for clarity, and a system that pays you back on day one. So let me go over again exactly what you get. You get the Clone Builder Lab. You get the four weekly implementation workshops. You get the Launch and Scale Lab. You get the resources, the assignments, the replays, 3 months in the Amplifier Club, and the $1 Billion Blueprint, and it is not $3,000. Event only. All of you can go to joinaibootcamp.com and get this for $995, and there's a 3-pay option, where together we will build your secret weapon. Your foundation for all AI success is build your AI clone. Again, thought partner, sparring partner, whatever you want to call it, but we're calling it an AI clone. And listen, to make this irresistible, show up, do the work, and implement what we teach. And here's a guarantee you'll never hear any place on the internet. If you don't reclaim at least 15 hours a week to enhance your life and your business, you let us know, we'll refund 100% of your money. We have gone through this. I've been blessed to go through with the greatest experts on the planet. This is the absolute foundational game changer. We are so confident it will give you this time back that if it doesn't, we will refund your money. No risk, no excuses, just results. JoinAIBootcamp.com. Go anytime you want to grab it. This is an event-only offer. When the event's over, this offer will be gone because we start on Thursday. The first training starts on Thursday. So here's the question. If not now, when? This is your tractor moment. This is your electricity moment. This is your true AI advantage. Let's build your AI clone system together. Because here's what happens when you say yes. You're buying time at a discount. You're investing to be ahead of the mass adoption that's coming. You saw it. You're paying to reduce the time and complexity it takes to learn this new technology. The truth is, I get it. You could wait, and many people will. Or you could make the decision today, right now, to get ahead while the window is still open. Because a year from now, when everybody else is scrambling, you're already going to have your AI clone working for you, buying back time and expanding and leverage. You get it all for $995, and we've condensed it to where all of you could follow along. In 30, 40 days from now, you are up and running. Now, I see the team has a lot of questions, and right now, this is the time to make a decision. And those of you who already said yes, welcome to the AI Advantage family. But I also know some of you are this close. You feel it in your gut, but your brain's asking the questions. That's totally normal. In fact, it's what every successful person feels right before they make a bold move, before they have a breakthrough. So before we bring on our next guest, before Tony Robbins comes interviewing Mark Benioff, I'm going to stay here. I like to call it and slay some dragons. The top questions that came in. You guys put them in the chat? So I'll slay those top dragons. Here's what I want to tell you. Anytime you're ready, go. Usually we take a sales break and say, go get enrolled, we'll be back in 10 minutes. I'm going to stay with you and answer your top questions because I would hate for you to miss out on this. And while I do this, again, anytime, joinaibootcamp.com. You can lock in your spot right now and listen while I walk through these. Cool? Cool. All right, let's go through these questions. Number one, Bethany said, why is this clone different than just using ChatGPT? A clone is like a chat on steroids. I know I said the plane and the bicycle, but the answer is it's customized to you. It's multiple levels deep. So many people, the way Igor described it to me is most people are 1 or 2 levels deep on chat or on any of the AI that you use. Once you're 8 or 9 or 10 levels deep, the answers are different. What it can do for you, how it can save, how it can shift your life, like what Dallas did. That's when it becomes Truly a game changer. It's one step at a time. We build your clone in the first session, and then over 30 days, you'll train your AI clone to know everything about you, trained on your patterns and your priorities. Number 2, Brian asked, who is actually coaching us through the 30-day boot camp? That's a great question. On the 30-day boot camp, it's designed by me, Tony, but more so our head of education now, Igor Pagani, because we merged our companies, and his incredible AI team, and also the feedback of the people that you see here. So he'll be doing the teaching based on our collective wisdom. So we chose Igor because he's been designing AI courses to help people since the beginning, since 2022. Plus, the AI Amplifier Club, Sabrina's our first guest, and so many of the other guests that continue the education. I hope that answers your question, Brian. And at any time, this is usually our sales break. So if this is feeling for you, if you're like, I need to do this, if you are called today, if you want this tool in your toolbox, then go to Join AI Bootcamp right now. And here's the cool part. Okay, I can't say, oh, look at that little counter down on the side. I was so hoping that they did that. This is the amount of hours. Every time you enroll, it adds 760 hours a year. This is the amount of hours that we are going to save in this community. I have a bold goal of that number being 4 million. By the time we're done with this event, I want you all to save 4 million hours so you can do the things that make you even more human, that allow you to do the things you've been putting off. Number 3, Elizabeth asked, I'm not techie. I'm overwhelmed by all the tools. Is this for me? The answer, aren't we all? You don't need to be a coder or chase every new app, and that's what we hope you see. 95% of the value comes from mastering one core model and a simple methodology. I like to say simple. When you hire experts and you surround yourself with the right people, you're actually getting simplicity on the other side of complexity. We whittled it down to the single most effective and efficient way to use AI, which is building a clone. Once you have a clone or a co-pilot or a thought partner, it helps you navigate all the other tools. Kevin asked, what if I don't have enough time to do this? Isn't that ironic? We talked about that yesterday. The very reason you think, Kevin, that you don't have time is exactly why you must make the time. What else is going to buy it back? You might have been struggling, Kevin, for years on time. If we don't do something different, we get the same results. This program is designed, in fact, guaranteed to give you 15 hours a week. If we don't do that, then you call us, let us know, we'll refund your money. That's how confident we are. If you say no because of time, you're locking yourself into the very problem you came here to solve. Remember, Join AI Bootcamp. This is, again, typically we take a break during these times and let you go enroll, but I figured I'd stay here and answer these questions as they come in, right? We're at 290,000 hours saved. Come on, we're going to get to 4 million by the end. All right, number 5, Trina asked, what if I get stuck or fall behind? This program meets you where you are. You'll have the recordings, you'll have templates, you'll have a community designed to support you. This is not a magic wand. You have to show up and you have to do the work, but we'll hold your hand through the entire thing. And it takes more than just 3 minutes to get it done. We're going to do this over the next 30, 35 days. You join us live each week, or you could do it on your own time because it'll be placed in your back office since we record it and post it immediately. And you can revisit your favorite parts anytime you want. All right, Jaden asked, what if I don't have the money right now? Listen, I understand that. I get it. And and I mean this, Jaden, if this is going to take food off the table or compromise your life, this is not the time. That's why we do these events for free. There's so much that we share that you could use. But on the other hand, if you save 15 hours a week, that's 780 hours a year. Even at a $20 an hour rate, that's $15,000 a year in value. And sometimes, again, if money's tight, I don't want to push you, but also sometimes we need the uncomfortable action because when we cut a check, we get it done. We show up, we make it happen. What would life be like to have this time back and learn how to leverage it and have this the foundation so you're not left behind? For $995, you're literally buying time at a discount. All right, I'm going to take one more. For those of you who are ready to go, this is your time to join. JoinAIBootcamp.com. All right, I'm going to take one more. Antonio, what if this won't work for my business or my career? I addressed that before, Antonio, but I know there's a lot of things, and I hope I covered everything. This is the most exciting part for me. When you work on something for 6 months like this to change people's lives, I hope you see my energy go up. I couldn't wait to offer this to you. I wish someone would have done this for me. A year ago, I was completely overwhelmed, completely confused by AI. And now I believe I'm working 4 times faster than I was just a year ago, and I expect to be 10 times by this year next time. But the answer is, time and leverage aren't industry specific. They're universal. Whether you're in law, healthcare, real estate, SaaS, coaching, or corporate, buying back 15 hours a week and having a super smart partner help you leverage that time works for everyone in every field. All right, one more. My team just posted one more. Carolina asked, why now? Why can't I wait till later? Listen, technology adoption doesn't wait. Every week you wait, others are compounding their advantage. Just like electricity or the internet, those who jumped in early pull ahead, and those that hesitate get left behind. This is the moment. This is your moment. Plus, this is an event-only offer. We start the training this next week. This offer, if you come back in a week, I promise you this offer will be gone. Imagine where you could be in a month from now with your own clone working alongside of you. Listen, when I say this is a event-only offer, it is. And we do that sometimes to urge you to take action because we know who you'll be on the other side of this. I know the uncomfortable action is the uncomfortableness of taking the action, but when you do, think of going to bed tonight knowing you're in, that there's no more being behind, that this is your moment to get ahead and how you can help out your family and those around you. That's exactly what this clone can help you build. I'm so excited for what's next. So those of you, join AI Bootcamp. We are at 650,000 hours saved right now. I love that the team came up with that counter. Let's get to our 4 million. Imagine this community next year when we come together, or in 30 days when we come together, or the next time we have this community where we could say we saved collectively 4 million hours. We could change the world with that time. Now, I'm going to go right into what's next. You take this URL. If you go now, great, but you make sure you do it before the end of the event. And let's get that counter going. All right, I'm excited for what's happening next. When you think of someone who's changed the world's technology in our lifetime, Mark Benioff is definitely at the top of that list. He didn't just build a software, he refined an industry, or redefined an industry. Mark led this shift from physical CDs and hard drives to the cloud, from limitation to limitless access. And today, he's one of the few people who's not just keeping up with disruption, he's driving it. Now, Mark's schedule is one of the busiest on the planet. But Tony and Mark made the time to record this just 2 days ago, a conversation exclusively for this event. You will see it nowhere online. In fact, our agreement with Mark is when the event's done, we have to take it off and no one could ever see it again. You won't see it anyplace else, and it is so good. In this powerful exchange between 2 long-term friends, Mark reveals the patterns that helped him navigate every major technological shift, and how he stays inspired as a leader, and why he believes right now is the golden era for starting your own business, and for small businesses and mid-sized businesses to elevate the roof, especially for those that act boldly and embrace AI early. Now, here's Tony Robbins and the founder and CEO of Salesforce, Mr. Mark Benioff.
Well, everybody, we're about to meet a dear friend of mine, somebody I'm fortunate enough to have known over 26 years, 27 years now, a legend in business and philanthropy, and that's, of course, the founder of Salesforce.com, Mark Benioff. Mark, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great, Tony. Thanks for inviting me today. I'm really thrilled to be with you always.
I'm always thrilled to be with you, my friend. Listen, we've been on quite a journey. I've gotten a chance to be with you since the beginning. I remember you coming to Unleash the Power Within and introducing yourself after a couple of them in a row and saying, I'm going to go start this company called Salesforce and we're going to change business around the world. And you said to me at the time, we'll do $100 million in business. And this year, I think you're going to hit 40 or 42 billion, right? 26 years later.
Tony, you remember very well. I mean, my journey with you started on a cassette tape, decades ago. Driving up and down the 101 highway in San Francisco, listening to Personal Power. I'll never forget it, how it transformed my life. I I think I'm still stuck on day 17, financial mastery. So we need to follow up on that at the end of this.
I think you're doing okay on that one, Mark.
All right.
Well, listen, I wanted to just give people a sense. I mean, from 1999, in those days, it's hard for most people, some people weren't alive at that time, to remember that software was something that you had a hard drive for, or some days before that, some kind of a disk. And all of a sudden the cloud comes, and you didn't invent the cloud, but you had a vision that most people didn't have. And I'm just curious, so many people could have taken advantage of that opportunity, but you're the one that really launched it and became really the largest promoter on earth of it, and obviously became the institution that everybody looks to. What did you see back then that made you believe that the cloud was the answer? And what did you see that I think other people seem to have missed?
Well, Tony, technology is constantly getting lower cost and easier to use. And, I was kind of recounting that story of when I got those personal power tapes on those cassette tapes.
Yeah.
And listen, when I started working in software on a TRS-80 Model 1 computer, I had a cassette player. That's how we stored the software. So I would write the software. My first piece of software was how to juggle, and I'm working on that and getting the whole thing working. And then you'd record it right onto the cassette tape. Now, today, people have no idea what I was talking about. I tease them all the time because they're like, hey, I sold my first piece of software to C-Load magazine. And they're like, well, what's C-Load? I'm like, cassette load. That's how we used to do it. And wow. It's been a wild ride, over decades to watch this technology continue to grow and evolve and move forward. And it's so exciting to be part of this journey. And it's never ending. Every day is something new.
What is it you saw then about the technology that made you jump on it? Because a lot of people, I know even myself as an individual, as a business owner, was thinking, man, put my stuff in the cloud where somebody else has access to it all, if it gets stolen. There was a lot of uncertainty and fear in that area. So what did you see that allowed you to say, I'm going to leave what I'm doing, I'm going to put myself on the line, and I'm going to be the person that brings this to the world? What did you see other people didn't see?
Well, that idea that I know that software is going to be changing, I keep an open mind to what's next. And all of a sudden, Tony, here I am, I'm at home. I'm using Amazon and eBay and Google, and I'm on the browser. And this is like 94, 95, 96. Yeah. And then I go into the office and it didn't match how the software was in business. All of a sudden, business software wasn't like that at all. Yeah. And I had one breakthrough, and that breakthrough was this. Wow, what would happen if all business software was as easy to use as this Amazon.com or this eBay or this Google? And then I looked at what is their architecture? It's so different. And the UI and the business model and the technology model, and what would I want to do? How would I put all that together? And that was the moment, in the 90s. And then in 99, March 8th of 1999, I started Salesforce. And with that idea that we were going to have a new technology model, which was, you call it the cloud. We called it software as a service or multi-tenancy at that point, Tony. And then number two is a new business model. We were going to have people subscribe, not pay a license fee, which is how software used to be, Right. And number three is a new philanthropic model. Because, I was at Oracle for 13 years at the time, and I just had a revelation that business could be the greatest platform for change, and that we could take 1% of our equity, 1% of our profit, 1% of all our employees' time right there in that moment of founding, and, have this new kind of culture as well. And the thing, Tony, it was very easy because we had no people, we had no equity, we had nothing, but it was very easy to do. But Tony, by doing those three things, that was the foundation of the company. And that's still very much, what we're doing today. Wow. And those three things are very important, but maybe that's not as important as 20,000 other companies have followed us with our 1-1-1 model. Yes. And then they've given away $3 billion or more now. So That's been exciting to inspire others that they can also see business is the greatest platform for change.
What gave you your initial hunger to make this happen, and what keeps you hungry today?
Number one is you have to have a beginner's mind.
Yes.
You have to. I was in Japan last week in Tokyo. They have a word for it, shoshin. And Shoshin means the beginner's mind. It comes out of Zen Buddhism. In the beginner's mind, you have every possibility, but in the expert's mind, you have few or none. And this is very important that, every day I try to start with meditation and I try to open my mind with mindfulness. And this idea that, okay, I'm willing to accept kind of what's coming and I'm listening to what the future holds. I'm trying to remember the future. And that idea has really guided me. And that idea that's given me that kind of desire and that hunger. And I'll tell you, I'm still as hungry today as I was on that moment. And
I know you are. That's what I love about you.
I've never been more excited about my company, about the software industry, about the tech industry, than I am today. I mean, and by the way, we talked about that moment where I was like, oh, hey, I'm using Google, I'm using Amazon, I'm using eBay, therefore I'm going to do this. I just had that moment again, a couple years ago where I was using ChatGPT and I was using Gemini and I'm using Anthropic and I'm using all these new large language models and AI. And I'm like, but I'm not using that in my business. So how am I going to bring all that together? So that moment is constantly happening. And, Tony, you and I believe one thing very strongly, which is you're always underestimating what you can do in a year. But, I overestimating what you can do in a year, but underestimating what you can do in a decade or 2 decades. Yeah. And that idea that we have to remember that, we're going to set our intention, we're going to go, and then we're going to have to kind of let this play out. And 1 decade or 2 decades, it's amazing where Salesforce is. And now when I look at AI, where it's going to be 1 or 2 decades from now, it's just incredible what the opportunity is.
Well, speaking of AI, that's why I wanted to start with your history, because you saw that generational, maybe say, breakthrough that was happening, and you took advantage of it and built the largest company in the world of its type. And now AI is here and everybody knows it. And there's a lot of people that are overwhelmed by it. People are, some people are fearful of it. People are falling behind. Tell us a little about your journey before we jump into AI, because AI allows us to be really a creator and never before. What's your pattern of, you told us when you recognized the pattern, how did you get yourself to start utilizing the pattern and start put together the systems that you now call Salesforce.com, this business, and where are you now creating patterns that were never done before?
Well, you just articulated one of the most important patterns. You said something incredibly powerful. You said people are feeling overwhelmed, they are fearful, they're unable to see what their role is going to be in this future that's rapidly changing. That's a pattern. When I feel that, when I start to feel that anxiety or that stress or that feeling, I know, something big is happening. When you see that happening, I mean, who cannot feel that way in regards to all the technology that's happening?
Yes.
No one knows exactly how this is all playing out. And some of it is being oversold, some of it is being undersold. And, we have a futurist here at Salesforce, and he actually lives right next door to me here. And he was one of the writers of Minority Report.
Oh, wow.
He was one of the writers of War Games. These are the AI movies that you and I grew up on.
Yes.
He wrote the movie Deep Impact. He's on the Asteroid Commission. And when you look back then at all the AI movies that we went through, like Terminator or Her and all these, of course we're going to feel that because it played out in so many ways. Now, one thing that's really important right now in this current moment with AI, because I do think that when we kind of talked in a spiritual context of looking at things in terms of decades, and we also have to kind of get back to the present moment.
Yes.
And in the present moment where AI is today, large language models are actually somewhat limited. They're just word models where these words are just hyperlinked together, and they're trained on something called Reddit, which is, big Q&A answer board, on the internet that's not trained on huge biological models, or huge, That's why, for example, there was all these people just a few years ago said, well, radiologists, we're not going to need them anymore. There's not going to be any more radiologists. And today we have more radiologists than ever.
Yes.
And radiologists who only use AI don't deliver accurate diagnoses. Yeah. So we're not at that point. And yet, let's still have this incredible excitement about the future and what we can do right now.
I think I read this recently. I may be wrong with the number, but I think compared to a year ago, you have like 50% of your customer service now being answered by AI. Is that accurate? And what can you tell us about Salesforce today and how AI is being used right now in this moment? Like what's real?
Oh, I have so many exciting stories. And that is it. We're at the beginning of a whole new story for Salesforce, which is the agentic enterprise. The
Yes.
idea that we're going to have a new kind of company, a company built on an agentic enterprise. An agentic enterprise is one that is built on agents, or where agents and humans work together. And the reason why agents and humans need to work together is kind of how I just laid it out, that these agents are good, but not great. That is, there's a certain level of accuracy you can achieve, 92, 93%, but not 100%. So that is extremely important. Even like for one of our customers right there close to you, Disney. And, we do a lot with Disney. So if you go to the Disney store, you're working with the Disney guides. If you call the Disney call center, you go on a Disney cruise, you're buying Disney real estate, you're probably interfacing with a Salesforce technology along the way. And we're managing all their customer touch points. And then we've built this AI for Disney that can do something incredible. Because Disney has done such a great job with all of their products, the thing that's really interesting is that a normal human being like me, I can't put together the whole package, like the hotel room, the restaurant reservation, the tour guide, the promotion. Like there's so many variables, but working with an AI, I can deliver a package for a Disney customer that is going to help Disney to maximize their revenue in an incredible new way. And that's really the power of the agent. The agent is going to work with the customer. The agent can work with the employee, and it elevates us. It's bringing us higher. It's moving us higher. It's like being at Date with Destiny. You feel like you're going up and up and up, like you're going to hit the ceiling like Willy Wonka. And then the thing is that is really a great role for AI. I want to feel elevated. I want to become more than I am. I want it to augment me, extend me. I mean, of course, maybe we're moving into brain machine interfaces too. So I'll be truly extended. I'll have be physically extended and then extended digitally. But that's not exactly where we are right now. So that we have to keep in mind. Another example is Williams-Sonoma. Williams-Sonoma is getting ready for Thanksgiving right now in the holiday season. They're going to sell so many products. It's going to be really incredible. They have 9 brands, places like Pottery Barn and West Elm. And it's this amazing company run by this amazing CEO. Her name is Laura Alber. And she has a new agent on the front end of the Williams-Sonoma website. You can go and try it. And it's a sous chef agent, and it helps you put together your Thanksgiving dinner. It's an agentic enterprise. They have augmented their human workforce with agents to kind of help you to kind of get to a new level.
How about in marketing and sales processes? Where are agents in that process for you and what you do with your business?
Well, in our business, first of all, like number one, as you mentioned, customer service and support. We have, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 customer support agents, and they do millions of conversations every year. Well, we added this agentic layer to them so that about half of all of those requests now are actually done by these agents. And so a customer can come into help.salesforce.com. They can ask their question. They can talk to it. They can write it down, and it's giving it the answer. And we've done about 2 million of those conversations in the 10 months that's been live. And during that same period, about 2 million human conversations. And at any moment, if you hit the maximum capability of the agent, you're like, oh, I'm frustrated now, or I just escalate to a human, boom, you will right away be connected with a human being, and the software screen goes in front of the human and shows them a whole conversation you've had, where you got frustrated, what is going on, your whole customer history with us. Because it is about humans and agents working together.
But if you're talking to small or medium-sized business as opposed to full enterprise, which I know you service as well quite a bit, what would you say, or if they were right now said, okay, the bus has left the station, the train has left the station, they know AI is moving, and a lot of them, as I said, have gotten overwhelmed. When you interview them, they're stressed or they're dabbling with a bunch of things. If you were going to give them advice, what would be 3 kind of non-negotiable decisions or actions you tell them to take immediately to get them moving forward, where they really can immerse themselves and understand how to take advantage of this once in a generation movement that's happening right now.
Well, this is going to be a golden moment for small and medium business. And I already see that in my own business, that small and medium companies are going to look a lot more like large companies because they're going to be extended by the technology. They're going to be somewhat indistinguishable. So all of a sudden, small and medium companies can do a lot more. So where they could maybe only do so much because they were only limited by the number of employees they've had, now they can be unlimited. So what would you do if you were completely unlimited? What would you do with your company if you had an infinite number of employees? Where would you go in your whole career if nothing was preventing you from being successful by the traditional human resources?
Yes.
So that idea that we can now have this infinite resource available to us, this can really extend us. Now, as I've mentioned now 3 or 4 times, there are limits to what the technology can do, but it is pretty awesome. And you can see it in one area, software engineering, that software engineers are augmented by these new types of tools that are making them more productive. Maybe they used to have to go to an ad agency. Maybe it was difficult to test multiple things. Now, all of those things where you had limits are unlimited, and you have this whole creative capability all in front of you. This is really awesome. So yes, you're gonna be able to augment sales. I kind of gave you the example that we're doing that. You're gonna be able to augment service. You're gonna be able to augment your marketing emails. Well, your whole creative side as well. Probably in every single one of your business processes, it's going to be able to be transformed or changed or enhanced in some material way over the next several years. And you're going to have lots of great solutions. And there's going to be great possibilities that, are one coming at you right after the next. And you're going to have to get used to feeling overwhelmed. There's no way that anybody is totally comfortable right now. Anybody who's totally comfortable right now, something is really wrong. So this is the moment to go, oh, yeah, everyone is feeling that way. If you're not feeling that way, oh, whoa, you probably have a much bigger issue. And it's time to get shaken up a little bit because this is your moment. This is your moment.
So I'm wondering for you, because you're in the midst of this is your business anyway, in your own life. I look at AI as something that saves time, which is the most valuable thing on earth, and it gives leverage for impact. Where do you personally use AI to save yourself time or leverage yourself or leverage the impact of what you're going after?
Well, I'll just tell you a really cool story, which is, I just finished Dreamforce. And you've been to Dreamforce quite a few times. Well, this was our biggest and most exciting Dreamforce ever. It was 55,000 people in town in San Francisco. Totally sold out, amazing, really safe, no safety incidents. It was really cool. And we're launching the Agentic Enterprise, and so people would show up at Moscone Center and it said, welcome to the Agentic Enterprise. Humans and agents are now working together. And we had Laura Alber there from Williams-Sonoma, and Michael Dell was there talking about he has agents running his supply chain. And we had this incredible CIO from Pepsi, Athena. She's amazing, where she's automating all these small and medium businesses all over the world using our platforms, millions of small and medium businesses, which is amazing. And we had the team from Pandora, including the CEO, the jewelry company with 6,000 jewelry stores, on how they're augmenting their commerce and their service. It was really awesome. Anyway, I have to deliver a keynote, as you know. And I have to do my keynote, and it's like, it's a couple hours, and it's very stressful for me, and I'm getting ready to do my keynote. So I have to practice my launch line. What am I going to say? How am I going to say it? What's my competitive differentiation? How am I positioning the company? How am I motivating people? So Tony, this year I did it differently. And what I did was I had one of these large language models on my phone. And as I left my office and drove home every day, I put it on just its speaking mode and put it right next to me. And I would just say to it now, okay, give me the launch line again. and I would say, and then it would give you I say, now is that differentiated against my competitor? And what could I do to make it even more exciting? How could I make it more motivational? Yes. Where could it go really wrong? What's my liability? How could I close this up? How do I tighten it? And I would be working with this thing each and every day. And I'd never done that before because, the latency on the audio models, well, they're just not as good as they are now. The latency is so low that you can really talk to it. Like when you talk to Gemini or you talk to ChatGPT or any of these models, like it's talking right back to you. And we've even taken that technology and built it into Salesforce so that you can call your customer service and the agent is talking right back to you like it sounds almost like a human being. It's not quite, of course. Maybe one of the reasons, it always say something like, "Oh, this is amazing," or "It's so positive." These things are the most positive. They're really positive. Like they've been to 1,000 date with destinies.
The stupidest idea, boy. You are so smart. That is so incredible.
Yeah. And I'm going, yes, so great. But I'm just talking to it, and it's funny, Tony, because. I would say for the last 3 years, we use our V2 Mom process to run our company. That is, at the beginning of every year, I'm about to start this process right now. I really write down the 5 core elements of my business plan at Salesforce. What do I really want? What is really important to me in priority? How am I going to get those things? What are my to-do list in priority and my budget for each one of those things?
Yeah.
What is preventing me from having what I really want? And finally, how will I know that it's successful? How will I know that I really have it? These are these 5 elements, the V2 Mom: vision, values, methods, obstacles, measures. And for the last 3 years, the way I've done it is I've written it down and then I feed it to a large language model and I say, hey, is this competitive? Is this differentiated? Is this compelling? And I've been shocked that it always finds one thing that I've completely missed.
That's very cool.
It knows a lot about our competitors in the software industry because the competitors have put all their business plans into these things for some reason. So all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, how does it know so much about this competitor? I won't tell you which one. One specifically it knows everything about. And I'm like, how could it possibly know all of these things? And I'm like, well, I'm just benefiting from that knowledge that it has. And then I can shape it. But then I always know I have to get my hand in to close it up and tighten it up.
Give us a picture of how you see the world. And then with that, tell me what's a core belief that you have that guides you in your thinking about the future that allows you to stay optimistic, because so many people turn into a negative view of the future because change is people aren't usually prepared for. Certainly not the tempo of change that's happening today. As you said, everybody's uncomfortable if they know what's going on, and that discomfort hopefully drives us to grow, drives us to learn, drives us to go after it. But so I'd love to know, what's your vision for where do you see being in the next, say, 3 to 5 years? Where's technology leading us? Where do you see the world? How does it change? How does it look different? And then finally, what kind of conviction does somebody need? What kind of belief they need to have? I'll give you a metaphorical example. I remember decades ago in the 80s, you may remember there was this guy named Mel Fisher he believed he was going to find this Spanish galleon that was lost in the 1600s. It was full of gold. He had no clue. He just had this idea, but he sold people on it because he had so much conviction. He raised money, and the first year he found nothing. Second year found nothing. After 2 years, he went back, raised more money. He did this for 16 years. And then he found $500 million worth of gold, which is pretty amazing. But the question I asked him at the time was like, what did you have to believe to do this? And his first belief was the treasure is out there. If you don't start with that, you have no chance of finding it. And I think AI is similar. And the second belief he had was not only that it's out there, but I will find it. And he just this conviction inside himself that had no basis other than just his pure commitment. And then his third one is it's worth it. Because if he hadn't thought it's worth it, he would have given up at 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. He kept on going. So I'm looking for a similar metaphor to help guide people through a future that feels uncertain for many people. Some people thrive on uncertainty, as you well know. Other people, not so much. But we all have to. The world's changing so quickly. So give us your vision of how does the world look in the next 3 to 5 years in terms of change with robotics, nanotechnology, AI, agentic organizations. And then what core convictions do you have that make you feel more than optimistic, but feel great about the future? Because I know you do.
Based on what the tools that we do have and what we can achieve right now, what do we really want? What do we really want right now? And now, how do we create it? For Salesforce, I want to create the agentic enterprise. I want all of our customers to be agentic enterprises. And I want to rebuild our entire products to be data first and to be Slack first. And to be AI first and to put it all together in a way that our customers are going to benefit and be able to build these new kinds of businesses that'll be more profitable and high growth and require rebalanced workforces. So that's what's exciting for me. And that's what I'm doing every single day. And I think for each person, they have to decide what's exciting for them. So let's just balance those two worlds, the present moment and the future moment. And I think that's kind of how I'm handling it right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's solid and wise, and obviously you're doing it for yourself as well, so that's great. Listen, thanks for
love you.
Your evening with me, buddy. God bless.
Love you.
Soon. Say hello to the family for me.
You're the best. You're the best, Tony. Love you.
Thank you, buddy. Bye. What'd you think about my conversation with my dear friend Mark Benioff? Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Create up that energy up there. Crank it up once again. That's it. Come on now. There we go. Whoa, yes. How many got great value learning from Mark, ladies and gentlemen? Listen, he's so amazing. He's been a dear friend for decades, obviously. I guess since he was 22, he's now 61. That blew my mind. But I think you can see the affinity and love we have for each other because we're both driven. You know, if you notice about Mark, he's not about conversation. He's not like living for what he can manage. He's into the living for possibility, what he can create. And he's created one of the most impactful companies literally in the world. Why? Because when everyone else knew about the cloud, he actually acted on it. He did that thing I talked about. He had the energy of a creator, right? He was decisive when other people were hesitant. He created a vision for himself of like what he thought he could create. He took massive action and created momentum, and that momentum and the relentlessness of him made him the creator that dominates the industry even to this day. Took him from nothing to 42 billion, the company from zero to 250 billion. And look at all the good that he's doing in the world by his 1-1-1 principle, giving 1% of the stock, 1% of the profits, and 1% of the time. How much that's changed. And that's a cool thing for you to consider if you're an early entrepreneur, is to say, what if I did that now? Because when I've done that, it's like it teaches your brain there's more than enough. And as he said, it's easy to do when you're early on in your business. Now, a couple points I want to remind you of. The biggest mistake that people make is they let their ego get too big. And Mark could easily be that guy, right? But he's not, because he's obsessed on, remember he said the beginner's mind. The beginner's mind is like, there were a couple people on the first day who was like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is advanced enough for me. And I mean, come on, right? What makes you brilliant is you don't think you have all the answers, and you know that even things you know, hearing them again starts to drive the groove deeper. Now you start to do it more. So one of the things he does is he stays hungry, he stays curious, he stays open. If you listen, everything he talked about there was all about leaning in, exploring what's next. You know, for people who say, I know it all, I always remind them the greatest coach of basketball history, at least college basketball history, was Coach Wooden at UCLA. He won 10 out of 12 national championships. No one has even come close to winning 3 like that. And not only that, he won 88 games in a row. This is 2 seasons winning every game. Now imagine, it's not like the NBA where you can have the same player every year. These guys graduate, a new team comes in, a new set of players. And he was so good at getting people to maximize. And there's 2 ways he did that. Number one, he'd take a kid who could just shoot from anywhere and say, that's cute, kid, come over here and I want you to make 100 layups in a row. Come here and make these short shots, because people always want the big thing. But if you practice the fundamentals, you'll win. He also had a very simple mindset. He told everybody there. He said, it's what you know, what you learn after you know everything that really counts. In other words, you're an idiot if you think you know it all. And when it comes to AI and the world we're going, it's going to keep changing. So we've got to stay in that curious beginner's mindset, not let our ego get in the way, not let our fear get in the way either. And that's the second thing he talked about. He talked about trading fear for curiosity. If you're starting to get fearful, just get curious. Like, well, what could this be? How could I use this? Trading hesitation for excitement, or trading overwhelm for more focus and more action. Because the same energy that fuels fear can drive your future. And then the last thing that he really talked about is it really is the golden era for entrepreneurs and for creators and solo entrepreneurs, because you don't need a team of tens of thousands of people. You don't need millions of dollars. You need clarity, you need courage, and you need the right tools. And as he said, AI is now the great equalizer. Small companies can operate like big companies because as we move into the agentic age, meaning having agents, just think about that, having employees that work for you 24 hours a day, they're incredibly skilled and can expand. You could have 1,000 of them. As he said, after the Dreamforce, he's having 55,000 people that came there, and they're all being called by an AI to get feedback he could never get. He couldn't have all his staff do that. And again, remember, he's got Apple, he's got Facebook, he's got GE, he's got Louis Vuitton. They expect incredible service, and half of his business, half of his customer service is with AI today. That's only getting better. But I hope you got the most important thing, because it'll help you understand why we organized the 30-day AI Advantage bootcamp the way we did. If you listen, when he was preparing, his number one way of using, and I found this for anybody who's extraordinary right now in business, is he built his own AI co-pilot, or some of you call it, your thought leader or your thought partner. My, real AI partners, I think of it as, or my genius partner, sees things I don't see, notices things I don't notice. And he used all of that. Once you poured enough in, it designed his talk for him. It was some of the best things he's done. He knew how to compare himself to his competition in real time, and he gave one of the best talks of his life. But he's doing that all the time. He's getting analysis in real time. Like you heard on day one, we showed you, you get analysis of anybody you want to compete to. If you want to open a new market, make something happen, but it has to know your goals, your desires, who you are. That's why building this 30-day AI Advantage bootcamp, building your own AI co-pilot is going to be so extraordinary. You won't be chasing a bunch of trends. You'll actually be in a position now where you're getting real results. And like Mark said, you don't want to chase the trends. You want to master this. This is the moment. It's happening now. You don't want to let it pass. So look, we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then Dean's going to come back, and we're going to have a couple guests, and we're going to do some live hot seats where you can ask questions, challenges you have in your business. We're going to talk about solutions. So stretch your body, get a little hydration, and if you're going to enroll, don't hesitate. Get yourself enrolled right now. I look forward to seeing you, because 30 days from now, not a year from now, you can have AI mastery at a level you can't imagine and have a partner that's helping to coach you every single day to go to the next level. Don't cheat yourself out of opportunity. Go get yourself aligned. I think they're going to put a code down below. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Lock it out.
Welcome back. All right, come on back to your computer. Hey guys, we got an exciting panel going to come out here in just a minute. We got Arthur and Sabrina and Igor. We took your questions. I love this part. We're going to do a quick fire, probably 30 minutes of hot seats to answer your top questions. We'll do it live. We'll call some of you up. Just before I bring them out there really quick, first off, congratulations for those of you who took action, going all in with the 30-day boot camp. I promise you, you're going to be absolutely blown away. We're already at 1.7 million hours with our goal of 4. Can't wait. But a couple of questions. Sometimes when I get excited about sharing what we created, sometimes you miss a few things. So I just want to share 2 quick things. A lot of people were asking, some of you took the $1 trial to the Amplifier Club on the way in. The Amplifier Club and the 30-day boot camp are completely separate. The Amplifier is amazing. That's where you're going to get top experts like them training every month and hacks and tools and prompts. Just an amazing community. And you can cancel that at any time with 0 obligation. The boot camp is completely separate. That's where over 30 days we're going to build and train your clone. That's the complete difference, okay? And a couple of questions that I should have thought of. People say, can I keep my clone after 30 days? Yes, absolutely. You build it, it's yours forever. And here's the thing, there are no additional costs. You keep your clone, that's yours forever, and there's no extra software you have to buy. So it is all about what Tony and I decided to take, instead of a year, 10 to 6 months, you don't have the time. 30 days to create it, and it's yours. You'll be up and running, saving time. I hope that helps. And now, let's welcome the panel. and have some fun for the next half hour or so. Give it up for Igor, Arthur, and Sabrina. What's up? Arthur. All right. You know what? When you do these panels, there's nothing fancy. It's just 4 people sitting in a chair.
Yep.
That's how we do it. Thank you guys today. Seriously. Can we give it up for these guys? Wasn't it amazing watching Igor yesterday? Sabrina, you killed it. Arthur, always. You know, the thing that, Arthur, you always get in my soul is I want more time so I could be you just spent the last 20 minutes talking to my wife, right? I want more time. I want leverage to take the things off my plate so I could be a better man.
Right.
So I could be a better father.
Exactly right.
And when you bring that, he brings the heart back into it, right? We all want business. We all want to thrive. Sabrina, you showed us how you can do one thing the old way, right? Which was still fast in comparison to when I started, I promise, right? But how you could take that and amplify that. And not only, that's what I was going so crazy on the time and leverage, is because not only do you buy time back by doing that, but it's actually better. Like that's the part you got to realize, it's actually better. And Igor, it's such a privilege to partner with you, man. It's, you know, it's so cool to have somebody help drive and understand. Since the day chat dropped, this guy's been teaching, training videos on it. He gets it in a way that would blow your mind, but knows how to make it simple. So with that said, thank you guys. I appreciate you being here. Let's take some questions. The first one we have up is Ashley DeBose. I hope I said that right. Can we bring up Ashley? There she is. Give it up for Ashley, everybody. How you doing, Ashley?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you guys?
Are you enjoying it?
Absolutely. I've gotten great value from all 3 of you, and I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to do this for us because I really want to grow with AI.
Oh, awesome. I love it. So your question was, if you don't mind, I'll read it. What top 3 skills in AI would you learn right now to be able to help others and make money while doing so? Mm-hmm. I'll let one of you AI experts go first.
Maybe I can begin to kind of like loop it back to what we've been talking about. I really think it's just getting good at these tools. And kind of the way I look at it a lot of times, it's just learning the language of speaking to these AIs, speaking to ChatGPT. The language we use here, and I think it's so appropriate, is like building this clone. But truthfully, like if you can communicate who you are, what your goals, what your values are, multiple layers deep, then you're going to get a better experience in there. And what a better experience means is outputs that bring you closer to your goals, essentially. And I think if you can do that, it's not just going to benefit you, it's going to benefit others. And it's transferable. It's not like a app-specific thing. You're just going to get that. So I think getting good at these tools would be my recommendations, but I'd love to hear what you guys think.
Yeah, I'll be very specific.
Did we lose Ashley, or is she still there? The screen went blank. Make sure we still got Ashley. Do we still have her? Somebody could reply? She's still here. Okay, cool. Okay. She's still here. Thumbs up. All right. You want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be very specific here. The number one path that is the easiest way to make money in AI if you are a complete beginner is through education. All you have to do is take something we talked about today, try it for yourself, and then the next day make a social media post documenting step-by-step what you did. And then just alternate that. Day 1, learn something. Day 2, share it on social media. AI education is absolutely the easiest place for every single person here to get started with AI. And it builds your confidence, especially when you hear from people that you're teaching them, that you're changing their life. So I highly, highly recommend that to everybody. And as you guys know, teaching material is the best way to learn it for yourself as well.
I love that. You know, I got to say,
on social media, AI education is absolutely the easiest place for every
It's feeding back, guys.
Get started with AI.
It was such a good answer, we wanted to hear it twice. Right? Thumbs up. Can you guys still see us okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a little glitch in the system.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's pretty nice.
Sometimes there's a glitch in the system. Here's what I want to share just from this perspective. So when this journey started, Ashley, with Tony and I, about a year ago, he was like, we got to do this. About 6 months ago, he's like, we must. And about the last 3 months has been no sleep. And I have to tell you, in this journey, what they both shared is the reason we got excited about building a clone, a co-pilot. whatever you want to call it, is because the depth of that changed everything for me. And it changed everything for each interview. You see, without even us seeing, that Mark Benioff has a clone that helped him write his speech for Dreamforce, right? It was just the common thread. And when I created mine, and I thought I was killing it on AI. I mean, I thought I was going at least twice as fast. When I positioned it in a way, learning from Igor especially, from 3 levels deep to maybe 8, 10 levels deep, it changed everything. The answers were different, the speed was different, the research was different. And you realize, even when you want to branch out to other tools, when you have a base, it helps you decide what tool and how to learn from them. So I think between the 3 of them, I think that was great advice.
Yeah, maybe one more small comment.
Of course.
And Sabrina, I love the answer there, but I think the education begins based on what you already know. So you're not trying to like kind of become knowledgeable in a completely new thing, and just like amplifies what you're good at. So if you're good at social media marketing, which I bet you was, like the AI is just gonna take it further, right? It's not gonna, at least in the first few steps, it just makes you better at what you already do. And I think that's kind of the key idea there to be aware of.
There is in my world, there's this one thing you should always be paying attention to when you're trying to learn new things, and that's looking at what's most interesting to you. It's funny because when you graduated from high school or college, the graduation speaker, who you don't remember, by the way.
Yeah.
Even if it was me, you don't remember. But they always give you one of 2 pieces of advice. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And that was probably, somebody who had an aluminum smelter company or something like that, and he's giving you this advice now. Yeah. Or it's somebody who's saying that you should go save the world, like Mother Teresa. Well, no pressure.
Right.
The truth is, you should always look for something that's the most interesting thing. If you do the most interesting thing and you're curious and you're learning, you're going to be happy. And when you're happier, you're going to help other people and you're going to make more money. That's the bottom line. So when you're looking at something like AI, you're all interested in AI, do the most interesting thing that you can and follow your curiosity to learn a whole bunch of new skills. And the helping others and making money will pretty much take care of itself.
So good, so good. And Ashley, the last thing I'll say, and to everybody with us right now, Mark Benioff called it the beginner's mind. I want you to think of through the words of intellectual curiosity. Yesterday morning when we were on for, 10 minutes, there was probably a group of people who know AI really well. And I watched a couple of their chats. It's like, give me something I've never learned. I learned this yesterday. And I remember saying, wow, I wish they looked through the lens of intellectual curiosity, because they might not be back then. They might have missed the Open today. They might have missed Arthur. They might have missed what Sabrina shared today because they thought they knew it all. And I just want to tell you, I love showing up. I still go to, Arthur presented to us 3 months ago. I took 10 pages of notes and I've read every book he's got and watched him 1,000,000 times. Intellectual curiosity changes everything. Yeah. And when you do, even when you know something, if you listen to somebody sharing it, you can hear it from a different angle. So you are in the right place at the right time, getting great skills, great information. I hope you join us for our 30-day boot camp. Everybody, give it up for Ashley.
Great job.
Ishmael, could we bring up Ishmael? How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Chile, and I have the opportunity to be there 2 weeks ago with you.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic.
Lunch lab.
Yep, I remember. Well, it's so good to have you back. So you said, how and where can you truly delegate routine work and have more time when you work alone in your own coaching business?
It's a good question. Well, I'll highlight 2 words in there. One of them is delegate. Because that would kind of imply that you're handing it off. And I think I'm all for ambitious goals, but I think the journey begins by actually supplementing what you already do with an AI helper and taking parts of the work off of your plate rather than thinking about it in a way that you're going to take the process A to Z and then have something do it. Certainly possible, I know a lot of more advanced folks in here will be aware of automation agents and all of that, but that is really the deep end of the pool. But you need to enter the pool in the shallow area where it's not about fully delegating it, where it's more about taking the pieces that it can help you with in the beginning, and all of a sudden you're not spending 2 hours, you're spending 45 minutes. And that's a win. You take that, you move on, and then with time, you improve what the clone knows about you, you improve your prompts, and you progress and you swim further down that pool, and eventually hopefully you can arrive at the delegation. But again, it's good to have the ambition there, and in some cases it's possible immediately, but in most cases it's going to be supporting what you already do, and yeah, that's where you start. So think about it in a way like, how can it supplement what I do? What are the tasks that I do? What are the digital tasks that I do? And how can I like include it in the loop there in my processes? And then over time, that loop gets tighter and you get more time back, but it just starts at giving a percentage back
So good.
rather than all of it.
Sabrina,
So I'd probably start with a time audit. So actually try and track what you are spending a lot of time on, write it down, and then drop it into ChatGPT and ask it, all of these activities I'm doing, what are the top 3 that are driving the most results? I would start with that conversation in ChatGPT to really understand where your time is going and also which tasks are repetitive. Then step 3, as Igor was saying, is like out of those repetitive tasks, which ones can actually be automated by AI? That's like the last step of the conversation. But yeah, I definitely start there and just like really try to understand where is all of your time going? What are the most important things you should focus on and cut out? And then the things you still need to do, ask AI which of these in priority order would be the easiest to automate.
Yeah, that's the greatest thing. Now, we had the chance to meet a couple weeks ago, and here's what I want to tell you, the way my brain works, different than you two, because we're in a different generation. I think, all right, I have to audit everything I do. I need to write it down on a piece of paper. I don't know if your brain went there first.
Of course.
I got to write it down on a piece of paper, and then I got to look and say, which one of these is most important, and which one of these could potentially be automated or enhanced or amplified or augmented, where I would bet to say you guys would speak or share everything into chat or into your clone and say, these are all the things I do, help organize it, help structure, help me find time.
Yeah.
I would love for you to share that
Yeah.
process.
How would you
do
go
that?
about like tracking your tasks?
How would you do, if you were going to audit your
practically?
time, how would you skip a step of the yellow pad?
Yeah, so you could literally take a screenshot of your calendar, and if you're running a business, if you have revenue statistics or things like that, like funnel conversion statistics as well. And also, don't be afraid to tell ChatGPT based on everything you know about me, which triggers it to reflect on the past conversations you've had. Because the key point that I like to do when I interact with AI is force it to like tell me what are the most important 3 things that are driving 95% of my results. So literally like screenshot and drop in everything you can, all the context you're willing and able to share, and then have AI challenge you. Out of this, like one of my favorite prompts, give me an exhaustive bullet point list of all the activities I'm doing based on my conversations with you. Then list the top 3 that are driving 95% of my results. And it's a beautiful reframe, and you get to dive really deep into how you're actually spending your time and energy.
That's good.
So good.
Sabrina, I'm listening to you, and in your presentation, you very often talk about ChatGPT. But how is your experience in some part of the automation with ChatGPT with Microsoft?
Yeah, so I use ChatGPT just as a placeholder. It honestly doesn't matter which LLM model you use. Like, I personally enjoy DeepSeek for creative writing and brainstorming. A lot of people prefer Claude, but I don't really emphasize the tool so much. I kind of just say ChatGPT because most people are familiar with it. But you can do the
It's
exact
the same
same
theory,
things in
same
Copilot.
concept.
Yeah. It's a placeholder word.
You know,
Yeah, maybe I made the wrong question. I tried to look for or to know if there are any difference in the integration with any one of the AI with Microsoft.
Yeah, so you probably want to stick with the Microsoft Copilot since you have access to that. So you can just stay within that ecosystem if you're required to use that.
I have a little follow-up question, if I may. Do you mean like working with Word documents, Excel sheets, or do you mean something else?
Yeah. Integration. If you want to work with answer emails, take the information for Instagram.
So that one is a bit tricky to answer because each one of the providers have sort of their own way of integrating it now. Like Gmail has one and Microsoft has one. Really what we're mainly talking about here is the big platforms like ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini and the others. If you go further down and you get more concrete, it branches out and there's like a million different little features in all different applications. And they vary in quality. I know the Microsoft ones, they use models that are very similar to what you get inside of ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Some of the other apps use different ones. They have different flavors, but at the end of the day, like those features, like the big message of the summit is, I think, that like you just need to learn how to communicate with it and who like you are and be able to communicate that. And then independent of what feature, what extension, what little applet you're going to be using, all of that is going to transfer. All of that is going to apply there. And not everybody can be familiar with all the 100,000 applications that exist, but the concepts stay the same. Just like, you know, talking a language stays the same. And when you learn new languages, you just learn different permutations of that word. It's sort of the same thing, but way simpler. Languages are quite complex. This is like, who am I and what can it do for me? If you can answer those two things, it can transfer, whether you're using a Microsoft extension or you're just using ChatGPT on the free plan in the automatic mode.
Hope that helps.
Let me add one quick thing here. I mean, so I'm going to make, I mean, Ismael, you and I are the same generation, and I have to make an assumption about what the reason that you're a coach. I bet you've worked for 10 different companies, and finally you're working for yourself. Finally, you're doing something that you love. Finally, you're serving humanity as a coach. Is this fair, Ismael? Is that true? Is this all true?
Yeah, it's true.
And so here's another audit you need to do. You need to do a joy audit. And that means make a list of all the things that you do and put them in order with respect to what you enjoy and what gives you satisfaction and what gives you a sense of meaning.
So good.
And do not delegate the things that bring you joy, even if it's more efficient to do so. You can't do that, because if you do, you'll be right back in the worst company you ever worked for. And the worst part will be is that you're your own boss and you'll be the worst boss ever. So don't do that. Do a joy audit and make sure the top 5 things you keep doing.
So good.
Arthur,
We'll give it
yes,
up. Thanks,
please.
Ismael. That was so
Thank
good.
you, guys.
I'm doing a joy audit. All right, Jennifer Warriors. I hope I said that right. What's up, Jennifer? Give it up for Jennifer, everybody.
Hello. Hi.
All right. So how you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Great to have you here. So there was a couple questions. I'm going to get to the part where you said I'm a creative, and I fear that my authentic voice might get lost and all the creative is produced by machines.
Sabrina, this really sounds like a great question for you.
Yeah.
So my philosophy when it comes to education and content creation is to pick 1 or 2 platforms to use as your primary, where you focus on creating the highest quality original content in your own voice. For example, my YouTube videos, it's all me. I'm not using some other AI clone. It's not created by AI. It's not a faceless video. It's all me teaching from the heart. And then I use AI to repurpose that one YouTube video into multiple formats. So from YouTube, it'll have shorts, it'll have clips, it'll be a LinkedIn post, a Substack newsletter, it'll have a TikTok script, but the original source, that is highest quality original content that I can produce. And that's kind of how I architect my entire content system. My 2 original platforms are YouTube and TikTok, and then those get repurposed everywhere else.
I love that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and by the way, Jennifer, if you saw my presentation a little while ago, when it comes to creativity is a right brain activity. You can't do creativity on the left side of your brain. And that means even if you outsource many of the creative tasks to the left side, everybody else's brains will know and they'll like it less. I don't care how accurate it is. And they'll say, I don't know why, but I used to like Jennifer's stuff so much. And now it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just sort of there. It's like everything else. And they won't know why. And the reason is because you're not touching the part of the brain that they actually need to enjoy your content. Now, if you were a painter, I wouldn't say, so therefore you need to make your own brushes. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. I would say, let a machine make the brushes, let an artisan make the brushes, but you still have to be the one painting the paintings. Remember that the ultimate creativity has to have the human part of you. It has to be your right brain in it if you want to touch anybody else.
So good, so good. And Jennifer, one of the biggest things, I went through a really incredible experience of being like everybody else trying to keep up with AI and then surrounding myself with way smarter people than me. And I'm still not at the level of what these guys are, not even close. But being surrounded has been such an incredible journey. And one of the common threads that I saw that I didn't see until I was in the inside is you can have a thought process that says, I'm going to use AI in everything possible so I can actually be more human and more creative. And that's what I've been trying to do, even in my personal life. What can I do? Building the brushes, picking up the paint. I'm just using those examples. What is all the things I can automate, that I could delegate, I can enhance, I can empower, I can augment, I can accelerate, so I get more time to be creative, more time to be human. And when you look through that lens, then it's not as scary, because it's not, I know it's a worn out statement. Tony said it too. It's not about the replacement of your creativity. I would look at it as like, I need to do this. I hope you're joining us for the 30-day boot camp, because we'll show you how to use this clone to do the things so you have more time for the creativity, so you can actually be more creative than you ever have been in your life. So I hope that answers your question.
I'd like to add one more thing, which is like, I think the best kind of way to think about it is really in terms of getting a team for yourself. Like, if you look at Dean and how he does all of these things, he has a team backing him up, people supporting him, you know. But a lot of people who are just starting out and maybe have a vision and are just like on square one and figuring this all out by themselves, they don't have the ability to have a team and all of those resources and all that experience too. You're kind of like left on your own to figure out all of these things, all the different departments, including the creative stuff. And the way I think about it is that it can supplement having certain teammates, having that help. Like, as Sabrina said, like, you're not going to be doing the avatar that is going to be sitting on your channel and talking for you. It's going to be you. I hope it's going to be you, because I would certainly connect. I certainly right now connect way more with you, because I see you nodding right now. That's so much better than replacing that. But when it comes to drafting the first version of the script, well, maybe it would be great to drop in free videos that you really love, the full transcript, copy pasting them in, and then asking like, hey, can you write something similar about topic XYZ in my voice? And then it's going to give you a draft, and you start there rather than starting with a blank page and a pen. And then you present. So it's like having a team.
So good. All right. Jennifer,
Awesome.
I hope that helps.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, give it up for Jennifer. All right, let's bring up Ethan. Give it up for Ethan, everybody. Abascus. All right, what's up, Ethan?
Doing great. Feel blessed. How are you?
Doing great. Good to have you here, man. Did you have a good time today?
Yes, sir. It's definitely been a great journey. Hearing Dr. Brooks enlightened me a lot. So,
Awesome. Well, great. That's why we have him here. So you asked, how could we utilize AI to reach a large audience? Maybe we can get a little more context. Who do you want to reach?
Yeah, so I've been trying to utilize it through social media to try to reach branch out their marketing means. So I was just trying to, and having struggles with that. So I was wondering how we could go about doing so.
So I'd love, these two are going to have so much feedback on that. But I just wanted to start at a high level, right? Think of anything in life amplified. If I remember somebody said to me once that money and alcohol amplifies people, right? If someone's a jerk when they're sober, they can be a bigger jerk when they're drunk, right? If somebody's a jerk when they're broke, when they make millions, they can be a bigger jerk, right? I use that as a silly analogy of saying, first off, make sure that you know your ideal client and you have an ideal message for them and an ideal solution. So ideal client, ideal message, ideal solution. Because if any of those are off, you can amplify, right? But if the message is off, you're just going to have more people see the message that doesn't work. Right? So I'm going to look through the lens of, if I put my marketing hat on, is I want to make sure whoever you're serving, that they know that you know, that they can know, like, and trust you, that you have something that can help their life, and you know how to reach them. Right? And those things so I would work hard on finding that messaging, and then once that message is good and it's working, then it's time to amplify.
Okay, so I want to start this off. I would love to hear both of those takes. I think just for me, like, you just gotta find your authentic self, like, really, and that can mean many things, right? But I think what a lot of people mistake with all the AI tools is that, you know, they do a short prompt and then they outsource the creativity and they outsource their personality to the AI, and all of a sudden it gives them something that a million other people are gonna get. Because let's face it, 800 million weekly active users now in ChatGPT. All of those people can do those simple prompts. What you need to do is you need to bring in a piece of yourself in writing or in whatever, in voice form, whatever form. There's many forms to bring it in, but you need to seed the AI with that, and it's going to help you along the way. But I think, and here's where I'll pass it off, I think first you need to actually know who you are and what your message is, what your target audience is. Like the AI amplifies it in that way. It's not going to be able to replace who you are. And at the end of the day, like I think especially these days, social media is skewing more towards authentic, towards the real people. The people who can run a 3-hour Q&A no problem, rather than like just, you know. And you can only do that if you have those things figured out internally. Then you can take any question. Otherwise, you're going to kind of like break under like 1 or 2 layers of questioning, I would say. So figure out yourself, and then I think there's many great ways to do that. And I would love to hear your take.
Yeah, you know, a lot of beginners, they start excited making content and then they fizzle out and quit. My number one piece of advice for everyone who starts making content, whether you're doing it just for yourself or for a business, is to get to 100 published posts as fast as possible. Because for me, I didn't even know my voice until I was like 50 posts in. Because you're gonna try a lot of different things. You're going to like view the most successful role models in your space. You're gonna try to copy their voice. That's a very natural thing to do in the beginning. And you're gonna find like some types of content don't resonate with you. You're gonna be naturally, authentically attracted to certain other styles of teaching. And that's a process you figure out by actually making content. So I would encourage you to get to 100 posts as fast as possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know, this is a question not just about AI. It's for anything where you're performing, where you have a big message, where you have maybe you're trying to bring people into your religion, maybe you're trying to share your music, whatever it happens to be. And one of the most important things in this world that's so incredibly flat, where technically you could get to almost everybody in the world because everybody has access to the means of you know, the technology that we're seeing today. Seth Godin has the marketing genius, has this very interesting concept called the minimum viable audience. And what that means is finding the minimum number of people that are truly impacted by the beautiful thing that you're doing that can actually make you a going concern. And knowing what that is the right place to start. We want to do the maximum possible audience. We should look for the minimum viable audience and then serve them. And what'll happen is organically it will actually grow. But thinking about that is really helpful. That's been very helpful to me in my own business. My own business is writing and speaking and teaching about the science of happiness, and I have a big public platform for doing it. But I started off with my students at the university, and then a few people who might read the things that I was doing, and I imagined how they would actually use my work in a way that would be fulfilling for them in their lives. And then, you know, surrounded by very talented people that I work with, it started to grow and grow and grow. But it was the product itself that really mattered the most.
Ethan, I hope that helps. Got some great advice.
Yeah, no, that was truly enlightening. I've read a few of Tony Robbins' books, and I've been told I'm like a little giant, and I've been trying to run. With
I love it. I love it. Well, but one of the things you got to realize something. One of the things you got to realize. It looks like it was easy when you've been in it for 30 years. Me 30, Tony 46. It takes longer than you think, and it's worth all you think it's worth. It's worth every bit of it. So go for it. Everybody, give it up for Ethan, and let's give it up for our amazing panel. Thank you. You guys, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, coming to an end. What an incredible day. You got to see what's possible. Could you put the lower third up? I want to see how many hours we're at. If you could put that up. 2 million. I was hoping we were at 2 million. We're halfway there. Listen, when you see what's possible, when you stop dabbling and you start using AI, it's not just another tool, but it's a way to buy back your time and create massive leverage. And here's the truth. Whether you're a solo entrepreneur wearing every hat, a small business owner, a professional trying to protect your career, or even someone just wanting to start with an idea and create your new business, everyone needs to clone themselves. And it is not, as I said earlier, it's not just a couple of prompts. That's why you saw Igor, you saw Sabrina. Going deep with them, you realize it's a unique process. And that's why we went all in on this. And it is absolutely amazing because everyone in every business needs more time. Everyone needs to leverage that time to create next level success. Listen, Tony and I have been doing this for a combined 76 years. We don't put our names on anything unless we know it's the best. And this program, the partners we've chosen, to teach you and building your own clone or thought partner or co-pilot in the next 30 days, it's exactly that. So tonight, you have a choice. You can go to bed with the same questions, the same challenges, or you can go to bed feeling really incredible that you said yes, knowing that next week, next Thursday, you'll be starting this journey with us. And in just 30 days, you'll have a powerful, smart, ready to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week clone, multiplying your output and letting you focus on the things that really matter. This will work in your business. It'll work in your career. It'll work in your health. It'll work in your family, your startup, because time and leverage are the great equalizer. But you need to know, like I said, this is an event-only offer. When the event ends, so does the opportunity. We start. It's because we start next week, and we don't let anybody in once we start. Now, you can go to Join AI. Well, it's on the screen. JoinAIBootcamp.com to get enrolled tonight. Again, you get to go to bed with that peace of mind. And here's what I want to say. Don't dare miss tomorrow. It's when it all comes together. Because we're going to show you how to take what you've learned, right? You trusted me today. Thank you. Where we started today. And then I gave you the example. Wasn't the refrigerator thing just mind-blowing? It blew my mind too, right? And then we evolved to Arthur Brooks and Sabrina. And we got more tactical as we went. Well, and then we had Mark Benioff from a high level. Tomorrow, oh, it's another great day. I can't wait for you to meet the guests that we have tomorrow. You'll have Rachel Woods on operations, the stuff in the invisible that allows a business or the startup to run while you're not even there. Operations are the silent killer in a good way. And when you understand how to use AI in operations or just processes or systems, whatever, the game changes forever. You got Amjad Masad. He's the founder of Replit, a company worth $3 billion, on how to create automation with your mouth, with your words, how to create agents. That's the next level. That's next level, which you're going to love. Plus, Mr. Tony Robbins will be back teaching the power of decisions. So set your alarm. I know it's Saturday. Don't miss a second. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We can't wait to see you inside the 30-day AI Advantage Bootcamp, and we'll see you tomorrow. JoinAIBootcamp.com. Be here. Don't miss a second. Appreciate you.
If I'm being honest, loving you the hardest thing to do, so I keep to myself. I feel like I'm falling in and out of consciousness, yeah. Now we starting